Good evening and cheers. Finally got that News Nation. I didn't realize after I ended the show last night, Brian Netton was having a Twitter share conversation again. So I got the full News Nation special report. Hey, Kid Kitty. Got the full News Nation special report, so sorry if you guys have seen it already. I'm going to play that, and then there's a Twitter share conversation thing that we've done a couple times. I guess he had one right after the show ended. And a whole bunch of other stuff too. So that's probably going to take up about an hour and a half, and then we'll try and get to everything else before the show's over. I'm going to take a look at my other folder here real quick. There was something else I thought about playing here. Good evening, Allison. How are you? Smoked mac and cheese. Smoked meatloaf. Yum. Gosh. Well, I did get that Brian Enton special. So like I said, I apologize if you guys seen it already. I know there's a couple parts we did see of it last night, so I might just miss those or skip them. Yeah, I wanted to check. There's something I wanted to check out on here. Yes, good evening. Oh, that sounds so good. Smoked mac and cheese and smoked meatloaf. Dang. Oh yeah, there's two things I wanted to check out real quick. And I think, and then we'll go to that News Nation thing. Handprint found on window from inside dish, and that might be interesting. And then something about a encounter at a business. So I'm going to check this one out first. And then after about 10 or 15 minutes in, I'm going to start playing that Brian Enton thing here. So where is that? There it is. I want to hear what this is about. Stalker claims from business encounter.
It has now been 3 weeks since the murders of 4 University of Idaho students in Moscow, and there have been no arrests for the killings of Madison Mogen, Kaylee Goncalves, Xana Kernodle, and Ethan.
Thanks everybody for hopping in.
2 hours ago, the Moscow Police Department cleared up more misinformation on this case. Crime 2's Mark Hanrahan is joining us here now to break down some new details just released by investigators.
That's a cool camera shot there.
Good evening, Whitney. 24 days. That's how long it's been since the 4 college students were found stabbed to death inside their off-campus home in Moscow, Idaho. The case has captured national
national attention. And okay. I'm excited.
The Moscow Police Department continues to battle disinformation spreading in this case. And tonight they are clearing up rumors about where Kaylee's dog was found inside the home and an alleged story that Kaylee might have told friends about. Investigators
Inside the
Kaylee's
home
dog
in a
was
room
the
that
house when they arrived to the scene, but the dog was not found in the room with any of the victims. Police say the dog was not in a room where the crimes were committed, and there was no evidence that it had gone into those parts of the house. The dog was taken to a local shelter, and it was later released back to family. Next,
So I'm wondering if it was in the bedroom, in the other bedroom.
claims that Kaylee had a stalker. Investigators say they looked into an incident in mid-October, which is where they believe the stalker claims originated, that Kaylee made to friends. Now, according to police, Kaylee was at an unidentified local business. 2 men were seen inside attempting to pick up women. One of those men appeared to follow Kaylee out to her car, but did not make any contact with her, according to police. Investigators say both men have been investigated and cleared as suspects. Here's what Idaho State Police's public information officer had to say about that today.
And can you speak to that at all? Have you guys investigated claims of a stalker for Kaylee? Where does that stand?
Okay.
Yes, we have. And today we were able to come out that we had found a situation, an incident occurred at a local business where...
Oh my gosh, I can't wait to check that, Allison.
Kaylee through the store and then as well possibly out to her vehicle. It didn't appear that there was any contact that was made between the two. We have investigated that. We have talked to the individuals involved, and we do not believe in any way that they're actually part of this actual crime.
Police are also asking for more information about Xana and Ethan.
What? All right, let me check out this other video here real quick. And oh my gosh, I just saw the headline and I'm like, oh boy. Yeah, I can't wait to, I'm gonna play that one after this. Where's that? This one wasn't a whole bunch of nothing. What is this handprint real quick? What is this?
It's an important item of evidence. There has to be a point of entry and a point of exit in a crime like this. If there is a handprint, it may be very significant.
I can show you.
And we're learning that 21-year-old Kaylee Gonsalves may have been the killer's prime target. Published reports say that Kaylee was subjected to a more brutal attack than the other 3 victims. She was killed on the same bed along with her best friend, Madison Mogen. News Nation reporter Brian Enton is in Idaho covering the investigation.
There's a number of different theories possible. Since her wounds were more significant than Maddie's, is it possible she was the target? Yes. Or is it possible that she woke up and was trying to fight back and that Maddie was the target?
As the investigation enters its 4th week, Kaylee's father is expressing disappointment with the local police.
Do you feel confident?
Poor guy.
In the police investigation and the people investigating right now?
I do not feel confident, and that's
they're going to hire a private investigator.
Say a little bit more. I hate to be
Props.
that guy, but
somebody needs to find something.
You know, there's a job to do for everybody. Has a job.
Why is there no reward?
This is my role as the parent.
He says he's raising money to hire a private detective. The 2 surviving roommates who slept through the attack are breaking their silence. Poignant letters from Dylan Mortensen and Bethany Funk were read aloud by a pastor at a memorial service in an Idaho church. Dylan wrote,
I know it will be hard to not have the 4 of them in our lives, but I know Xana, Ethan, Maddie, and Kaylee would want us to live life and be happy.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, hold on. Yeah, let me turn it down. There we go. Is that better? Sorry about that. Let's see here. Okay, I'm gonna go to this. Whoa! Hold on. What the heck?
Finally break their silence.
Okay, that was really a bunch of nothing as well. All right, I'll just scroll to the top. And let's see here. We already watched that. And we watched that one. Whoops. So remove that. I'm going to remove that. Okay, so All right, that's the beginning. All right, let me go to this email here. Wow. Thank you, Allison. Man arrested in Colorado is person of interest in Delphi teen murders, state police say. Is this the, No, I've never heard of this guy. To the second sketch? Was arrested Monday in Colorado after police say he was driving with expired Indiana plates. He is also accused of threatening people with a hatchet on a Colorado trail. Has this yeah, Kaylee's dad is awesome. Is this has this person been a person of interest before? I feel like there was some, like a couple years ago, there was something in another state out west of Indiana somewhere that I thought was maybe not. Fox 59 News spoke with authorities in Colorado who said Nations was arrested near the same trail in Colorado where a bicyclist was shot to death 2 weeks ago. No arrests have been made yet. It's not just him that we were looking at, but all of the cases and pictures that we have received. Person of interest, but did not elaborate further. The girls were killed after walking back in February. If he was not in the state of Indiana, that would pretty much clear him out. Why? He's being held at the Teller County Jail. He was originally charged with possession of a weapon by a previous offender. Video shows Nations outside a courtroom in Colorado. Asked if he is responsible for the killings in Indiana. He said no. Hey, Scottish Queen. Oh, shoot. Hold on a second. Mel Mac. I'm sitting here digging into this news article here that Allison sent me. Kaboo. How are you doing, Mel Mac? Were you part of the power outage there? Hey, Dre. Ben and Jerry's ice cream with carrot cake. Oh my gosh. Yum. Yeah, this is so some guy in Colorado. Where's the video? Was this the video up here? Property. No, that's advertising. Where's the video? The video shows below shows Nations. Where? Right here?
It's not enough to plant to win. Authority.
That's gotta be it, right? Oh, these ads. Yeah, I heard about that. Somebody's shooting up a substation thing. We checked out a video last night. What the heck, man?
Launched a new program aimed at solving the educator shortage.
Yeah, this time we need people.
That's not it. Maybe it doesn't have the video. Hold on, let me look at this guy here. Where's Daniel Nations? Colorado. Let me look it up real quick. See if we can get a picture, because it says he looks like the Sketch. Daniel Nations versus Sketch. Oh, this guy. Yeah, I remember him being a person of interest before. I thought they yeah, this guy looks so familiar. I think he's been a person of interest before. Yeah, see? Yeah, a couple years ago he was yeah, I remember that. That's okay, because I was thinking, I was like, man, I thought, wait a minute. Who the hell's this one? Who the heck is that? Randolph County? Oh, that ain't it. Yeah, I remember this guy being a person of interest, but I thought they cleared him. Boy, he sure does look like him though, don't he? He sure does look a little like him, doesn't he? You don't remember him? Yeah, it was I think it was like 2018, 2019 when they were talking about him before. Because I remembered it was somebody that was in another state out west of Indiana. I didn't want to say Colorado, but it was, I thought it was somewhere around there. I'm thinking it was it wasn't Colorado though. It was like Illinois or something. Maybe it was Illinois or something, or Nebraska. But yeah, I remember this dude's face. And yeah, because see, they got even from 2017, they were talking about this guy here. Back in Colorado Springs. Yeah, because he's like he did something else on a bike path or something, threatening people, or I mean, the dude's, he's got issues. Whoa, that's interesting though. That now that they're he's going to be a person of interest again. It's crazy. Hey everyone, my hands are free now to text. I'm going to end up like that's good ice cream though. Okay. Yeah, thank you for that. Let me see here. Phantom, what is this? I did have a excuse me, I did have a video come up that I did save. Herb Baumeister. I do have a video. I believe it is from WTHR. I do have one of those saved. John Jack Showalter, person of interest. This is a link from Jen. Let me check that out real quick, and then I'm going to get into that Brian Enton stuff. Made banana bread, yum. Gosh, ice cream, banana bread, smoked. Oh my gosh, this is yeah, I can't pre-watch. I could barely make the showtime. Shoot. I got to sit down. It was like 7 or 8 minutes before the show was starting. I finally got to sit down at the desk. Yeah, there ain't no pre-watching over here. and I didn't even get a nap. Okay. Yeah, Herb Baumeister. I do have a video saved for that. and Arabella McCormick. I'll end up checking that out one a little bit later. Latah County Coroner. And another link by Kel, registered nurse. Not sure what that's about. Glad you're feeling better, Scottish Queen. Thank you for hopping in here too. We missed you. Been a lot of stuff going on the whole last week actually. I mean, shit, every show last week, something else crazy was coming out. Whether we were finding it or it was coming out on the news. And then this weekend, you know, all that University of Idaho stuff and the dad talking. At least he's telling something. It sucks that they won't let him have a reward, though. It's pretty lame. All right. All right, let me get to this News Nation special here.
1 minute, one night for lives to be turned upside down.
We lost 4 beautiful souls.
The hardest part, we cannot change the outcome.
For a quiet college campus to become a crime scene.
This could be anybody. It could be anybody.
What do you say to the students who are scared?
I tell them I'm scared too.
Scared to lose his money because they don't
vanish in the middle of the night.
Because they don't want any frickin' reward posters up or profiles or anything. I mean, geez, come on.
There is a threat out there still.
It's all hands on deck for investigators, racing to retrace steps, comb through evidence, and stop this case from going cold.
They could break open any time.
Because it only takes one clue, one slip up, one tip.
Somebody somewhere has information about this case.
To end the nightmare.
Oh, to these young kids.
Idaho Murder Mystery, a News Nation special report, starts right now. Good evening, I'm Brian Enton, live in Moscow, Idaho, for this News Nation special report. 3 weeks ago, the unthinkable happened in this house behind me. 4 university students brutally murdered here. Their killer not only is still on the run, but still all of this remains a mystery 3 weeks later. And we have breaking news tonight. New details that we have just confirmed. News Nation is learning that Kaylee Goncalves' injuries were significantly more brutal than her best friend Maddie's injuries, which may end up being a very, very important piece of evidence when it comes to determining who the target was in this attack. I have learned Kaylee and Maddie were in an upstairs room in the house, so the killer had to go specifically upstairs to get to them. And again, that new information just confirmed that Kaylee's injuries were, quote, significantly more brutal. That is new information that we are going to analyze coming up over the next hour. All of this really is a nightmare for this town, a nightmare that they just cannot wake up from. Over the next hour, we are going to be diving into all of the details of this case, learning more about the victims and their families, trying to make sense of this unimaginable loss here in Idaho. We're gonna go take you around the crime scene, show you what it looks like, as well as an exclusive look at the Idaho State Crime Lab. And we're going to remain focused throughout all of this on the victims and their family. To try and understand how we got to this point, first, we go back to the beginning. Moscow, Idaho, a beautiful, quiet college town near the border with Washington State, blanketed in snow this time of year, and home to the University of Idaho.
Scottish Queen, the ex-boyfriend of Kaylee?
with 11,000 students who have almost never had a reason not to feel safe.
The worst crimes we see in town involve things like bike theft or cars getting keyed or something like that. We're a nice little artsy town that provides a great quality of life to a lot of people.
But what happened in the early morning hours of November 13th has shaken this community like never before.
I'm scared too. This is a worrying time, but we also have the ability to understand that this is just another example that crime happens and it can happen anywhere.
Fear. College community still in shock following the brutal stabbings of 4 of their students. So many asking, how did this happen? We start on the evening of Saturday, November 12th. Kaylee Goncalves and Madison Mogen were where many college students spend their Saturday nights. At this local bar, the Corner Club on North Main Street in downtown Moscow. According to local law enforcement, the two were at the bar between 10 p.m. and 1:30 a.m. on November 13th. At around 1:40 a.m., Kaylee and Madison moved over to a local food truck. You can see them here on surveillance video from the Grub Truck down the street on South Main Street. News Nation has confirmed the 2 women used a private party for a ride home from downtown to their home on King Road. The home is about a mile and a half, or about a 6-minute drive from the food truck. They got home around 1:56 a.m., according to digital evidence collected by investigators. Investigators also say Kaylee and Madison made several calls to an ex-boyfriend of one of the girls 7 times, raising some eyebrows. That person has now been cleared, according to law enforcement. Kaylee Goncalves' sister spoke with News Nation's Chris Cuomo.
There's no boy problem. There's no threat. There's no high-risk lifestyle that could have indicated this. It has taken all of us completely by shock, and
What do you guys think the piece of mail was that Kaylee's dad said they turned over to the police to investigate? The article of mail. Do you think it was a threat, an apology, maybe something from the crime scene?
have absolutely no ideas.
Another roommate, Xana Kernodle, and her boyfriend, Ethan Chapin, were also out the night of November 12th. Investigators confirmed Ethan and Xana were seen at the Sigma Chi fraternity house on the University of Idaho campus. Here's where things get a little shaky. Law enforcement confirms with News Nation, Ethan and Xana were seen at the fraternity house around 9 p.m. They reportedly made it back home around 1:45 a.m. Investigators are still trying to piece together what happened between 9 p.m. and 1:45 a.m.
Figure out who they were with, what was going on, maybe any routes or paths that they took to end up going home, those types of things. Potentially, that is critical to the investigation.
As for the two surviving roommates, they were also out on the night of November 12th in the Moscow community. They returned home by 1 a.m. The two surviving roommates did not wake up until later in the morning on November 13th. That is when they called other friends to the house because they believed one of the second-floor victims had passed out and was not waking up. At 11:58 a.m. on November 13th, a 911 call requested aid for an unconscious person. The call was made from one of the surviving roommates' cell phones inside the residence. Multiple people talked with the 911 dispatcher before Moscow police arrived at the home. Officers discovered Kaylee, Madison, Xana, and Ethan dead inside the residence on the second and third floors of the home, suffering from stab wounds.
It was a pretty large knife, so it's really hard to call them puncture wounds. And they were definitely stabbings. And I mean, it has to be somebody that's pretty angry in order to stab 4 people to death.
So many questions unanswered. Authorities remaining tight-lipped, saying there are many details still simply don't know. Do you know inside the house whether the victims' doors were locked into their individual rooms?
I don't know that.
Do you know were any messages left behind in the house, like almost symbols from the killer? Because sometimes in other cases, you know, if it was like a fetish killing, they would leave something on the body or write something on the wall. Is there anything like that?
I'm not aware of anything like that.
While authorities remain tight-lipped, we are learning other details from the families of the victims. At the vigil on campus Wednesday night, Kaylee's father gave insight into how close his daughter and Madison were discovered, saying the two were found together in the same bed. Earlier this week, there was confusion when law enforcement said there was a miscommunication between police and the county prosecutor about whether this was a targeted attack or not.
My understanding is the investigators believe that whoever's responsible was specifically looking at this particular residence. That's all that they can offer at this point.
The latest from police is they do think the murders were targeted, but police say they have not concluded if the target was the house or one of the occupants. Investigators have also confirmed a sixth person on the lease was not in the home at the time of the murders. And the roommates and friends who lived in this house behind me were so many things to so many people. Jokesters, a fashionista, some prolific photographers. They were really just typical college kids preparing to take on the world. Their friendships so deep.
Did anybody do their chores today? I'm just gonna do it.
The roommates could rock spot-on impressions of one another.
It's 8. Gotta go. Dave's calling. Oh, Dave's calling.
Two of the young women grew up together. Madison Mogen, Maddie from Coeur d'Alene, and best friend Kaylee Gonzalez from nearby Rathdrum, Idaho. Roommate Xana Kernodle went to high school close by in Post Falls, and her boyfriend Ethan Chapin from out of state, Mount Vernon, Washington. All coming together at the University of Idaho, the tiny college town of Moscow.
Community is reacting with grief, concern. These were 4 very popular people on campus.
Emotions raw at a community vigil on campus Wednesday, including Ethan Chapin's mother.
My name is Stacy Chapin. I'm Ethan's mom.
Her 20-year-old coming to the university this fall with his brother and sister. Triplets, they were inseparable. Ethan's last day spent accompanying sister Maisie to her sorority formal. Yet the freshman was usually with his girlfriend, Xana Kernodle, a junior studying marketing and reveling in the pair's growing relationship. A proud post of Mouse and Chef, a playful version of Ratatouille.
And I want people to take this personally because she was everyone's daughter.
Kaylee Gonzalez's sister talking to News Nation's Chris Cuomo about her younger sister. Kaylee was finishing her senior year strong, with her best friend, Maddie Mogen, always at her side.
So then they went to high school together. Then they started looking at colleges. They came here together.
From tweens to Lake City High, teachers say the two girls never parted. Roommates at the University of Idaho, Maddie did join a different sorority. The live music lover showed off her marketing skills.
Okay, I'm going to pause this real quick. I'm going to switch to this this vigil, and I want to check that out real quick. See, I'm wondering that too, Kib Kitty, like the mail. I was thinking it could only be 3 things. I was thinking it could only be an apology, a threat, or an article from the crime scene as a taunt. One of the 3. I couldn't think of anything else it would be. Where do I need to look at, Phantom? This is News Nation's. Do I need to be watching another channels? Apparently it was said the mother cuddled Jack D at the memorial, but her father walked away. And he would have been well acquainted with the rooms. Wow. At the end of Kaylee's father talking.
When you love them, love the people in your room that you go back to, your apartment, your house, and that will make a difference. And that's something that they can see where they're at right now. that you changed your life just a little bit and you were a little bit nicer and a little bit kinder.
That's interesting, Melbeck.
Thank you.
So right here is where this takes place? Is it on a different channel that had a different camera angle or something? Here, let me go to this one, see if this one has a different camera angle on it. Okay, that... King 5? Let me try this one. You're good, Melbeck. Okay, that one didn't show. Oh, wait, hold on. No. Okay, thank you, Phantom. Yeah, let me know and then give me a timestamp on it if you find it. I'm gonna switch back to this. That is, I do want to look at that though.
Greek restaurant where she worked.
This is interesting. Now it kind of switches.
Same bed.
I think all the people working.
Jealous serial killer.
And
Jen's been sick. She was in the last couple nights. BG8 hops in kind of late.
Perfect backdrop for the college journey.
Hey guys, I know I talk about myself a lot, but like, what would you guys do in my situation?
The home on King Road, which once hosted Forever Friends, now bears visible scars of the unthinkable. 4 young skills running the social media account at the Mad Greek restaurant where she worked.
And in the end, they died together.
Hey guys, I know I talk about myself a lot, but like, what would you guys do in my situation?
The home on King Road, which once...
Look at that house. Yeah, Kelt sent me an email too. Birthday. What's up, Jen? Yeah, look at that house. I don't know. Not saying, but they were talking about any views, something about binoculars last night on one of these videos. That house is like right there.
It's hosted Forever Friends, now bears visible scars of the unthinkable. 4 young lives taken, who, as shown on Xana's high school graduation cap, had their sights set on giving the world so much more.
Make sure that you spend as much time as possible with those people.
You guys are good. We know what you mean.
Something you can't get back.
It's just so heartbreaking what these families are going through.
Hell, I hit backspace more than I do the letters that get sent in a text message.
And they have been vocal about their relentless search for justice and frustrations with the investigation. Here's part 1 of our conversation.
You know, she was hurt so bad that she was not able to recover. That is just terrible.
Oh, it's okay.
It's terrible. I cannot fathom in my head what kind of person did this.
It's capable.
And why. I can't sleep at night. I lay in bed pondering just millions of different scenarios. And just, I want to know, but then there's stuff obviously you don't want to know, you know, but
You just cry.
I think I want to know it all, and
You're okay.
I just don't understand why. how somebody could take somebody, four of them. It wasn't just my girl. Just so savagely.
Is anyone acting differently since the murders? I mean, is there anyone that you have a weird feeling about that the girls knew or that comes to mind?
Yeah, I would say not in the immediate circle by any means, but a few of the names that have been circulating around, I think it's hard not to kind of, dig into this. And I don't know how much of that is just because we have so little information.
Wouldn't their immediate circle be the boyfriend, though? I found it, but it is on another... Oh, okay, I gotcha. If you can just give me the timestamp, Phantom, and then I'll just skip to that timestamp, and then we'll just play that couple-second clip of that channel. I know it is heartbreaking listening to these parents, especially the dad. Like when he had the interview, and I think it was Fox and Friends, maybe there was three people sitting on the couch talking to him, and his camera's off to the left, and it's zoomed in, and they were just like telling him how much they appreciate that he's actually like saying what's going on and stuff like that, and you can just see him starting to try and hold in all the tears and stuff. Poor guy.
From law enforcement, and how much of it really is, a sister or a father's intuition.
Can you elaborate at all? I don't know. You don't have to give a name, but I mean, is it someone that she knew, or?
I have something to say about that. I just feel like there's been a couple individuals that were cleared very fast. That may not, maybe he shouldn't have been. And yeah.
Share the strong alibi.
Just really fast.
If you can dismiss.
An hour later, and we're like, what? And I don't know. I don't know anything about those individuals. I just know they were people that, definitely should have been looked at. And yeah.
I don't know what would prevent you from sharing somebody's alibi.
Yeah, I think that's what we're struggling with. So it's like, we know what we know. We've, fought for Jack, Kaylee's boyfriend, and, we still stand that way. So I did just kind of want to clear that up while we're talking through this ambiguity that.
So is this the same boyfriend, ex-boyfriend you guys are talking about? Is the one that you feel is the one that committed these crimes? You did. You're good, Dre. Is this the guy that you guys are saying you think did this? So the mom and the sister think he's cool, but the dad don't? You hear that again.
I don't know. I don't know anything about those individuals. I just know they were people that, definitely should have been looked at. And yeah.
I don't know what would prevent you from sharing somebody's alibi.
Yeah, I think that's what we're struggling with. So it's like, we know what we know. We've, fought for Jack, Kaylee's boyfriend, and, we still.
There was a link, Jen, that was like an hour and something. I did click on a link, but it was like an hour or something. Something about a Jack or Showalter or something like that. But no, I didn't get to watch it. I literally sat down at my desk like 7 minutes before the show started. Allison thinks it's Hoodie Guy. Oh, that's good. 108. Okay. 1 second here. Let me see here. Let me click on that link. Sorry, I gotta switch to YouTube chat. Hoodie Guy is the one in the video. Alright, so we think it's Hoodie Guy again. Alright, 108. This one's just talking at 108. Let's see here. She repeats info. Hoodie guy's the one in the video. Jack
Stand
or
that way.
Jake
So I
or
did just
Jack.
kind of want to clear that up while we're talking through this ambiguity.
That's interesting that Hoodie guy's being brought up in this again. Yeah, I know, Melmac. This.
That, that's not what we're honing in on here.
We don't want to make more victims out of innocent people.
Jackass.
Yeah,
Showalter.
You've mentioned
Okay.
before that you didn't want to have a funeral right now because the killer's still out there. Is that something that you're still thinking about? Are you?
So, yes, mom and sister are very protective of the ex-Jack and have supported him publicly, but I think the dad is less convinced about it to him well, yeah. Okay, so you're thinking that it's this you and Phantom think it's this ex-boyfriend. Allison thinks it's Hoodie. I know that's why you said that, Jen, and that's why I also told you I don't have time to pre-watch stuff. I've said that plenty of times too. The video is like 5.5 minutes. Yeah, that's fine, Phantom. You can just send it to me and then I'll go to the 1 minute, 8 second mark of it and just play that little snippet of it.
A targeted thing. That's what comes. I've had innocent people that were interviewed parents today that, if your daughter is no ill will from me, man. To me, if you go have a couple beers,
Exactly,
or go out,
Kid
hang out
Kitty.
with your friends, and then come home and go to bed, if that's your target, then I think we all do that.
Went
I think
to
we all come home and
Africa.
go to our beds.
Yeah, if you watch those hour and something long videos and you can just sum it up in a chat message, that'd be beautiful. Because really, I really don't have time to pre-watch stuff. That's exactly right, Kid Kitty. I wouldn't blame the dad for nothing. I wouldn't even blame the dad for talking. He's trying everything he can do not to say stuff, and he's letting some stuff slip here and there. I'm glad that they're getting a private investigator. I'm glad about that. I really want to know what this piece of mail is. Yeah, like I said, I literally sat down. I was able to get to my desk 7 minutes before the show started. So as soon as I come home, I gotta cook supper. I gotta take a shower. I gotta do whatever home stuff I have to do. And sometimes I'm able to sit down a half an hour before. Sometimes I gotta bump it back 5 or 10 minutes, like I have a couple times. It really just all depends, but I really don't have time to pre-watch anything like that. That's why I like to use a lot of the news clips and local news and stuff like that, because I don't have the time to pre-watch the videos. And so therefore, if I'm using the local news and such like that, or even News Nation, I know it's a respectful source. I know that I'm going to get good information, and I know that it's going to be information that is reported and or confirmed. And so that it just allows me, since I don't have the time to pre-watch stuff, it kind of allows me the opportunity to be able to still have some of the same facts, but not take the chance of watching somebody else's thing without pre-watching it, because I don't have that availability. But if you're able to pre-watch it and say something in chat, that's totally cool, because I just don't have that kind of time. I wish I did. The link won't let me send it to your email. Okay. Hey, what's up, Bruin? Did all of these kids... That's what you would think, Bruin. That's what you would think. I mean, I barely have enough time to get through my own videos. You see my folder now? Tons I haven't even got through. Yeah, it is confusing, this whole thing, this case. So let me see here. I guess he had been purposely bumping into her around town, and the sister found info about him on Kaylee's social media. So is that the digital evidence they're talking about? And the picture you see her taking the food truck was actually of Hoodie Guy, and she sent it to... Really? So she was taking a picture of him? So that's what she was doing with her phone, huh? Interesting. I mean, he did look kind of creepy, and then when they walked off, he was just like, hey, what? Huh? Huh.
Yeah, so
it's kind of a bad word then.
And then he went to Africa? So he's in Africa? Watch what video? Jen. After finding that out, it's obvious.
I mean, it doesn't really make sense in some
Wow.
ways.
Exactly.
He moved to Africa?
Yeah.
He said, I think it was kind of a weird word to choose.
Yeah. I mean, if it makes sense if there was some bad behavior that they did, let's say, I don't know, they came from a strip club or something, and then somebody followed them home. That's a targeted thing. That's what comes. I've had innocent.
Isn't he a neighbor? With his parents. Isn't he a neighbor? No extradition from Africa? What? No fucking way. No extradition either? No way.
People that were interviewed that were their neighbors, and they said, I'd be a lot more scared if it wasn't targeted.
Yeah.
Because I'm not doing anything to target me. And I'm like, well, targeting's just going to bed with your friends.
So maybe that was just a way to calm people down?
I feel like it was strategic.
Yeah.
It was a strategic way
Really?
to keep people from
went out of
hitting
town.
the door, transferring out.
Yeah, I mean, that's a perfect way to exit a crime scene, you know? We were talking about that yesterday, like, it's right before the holiday, like, you couldn't ask for a better situation if that's what you were doing. The neighbor is weird, but No, I thought in the very beginning they were saying the Hoodie Guy was a neighbor of theirs, just trying to make sure that they got home safely. I thought that's what it was being reported. That's why I'm saying neighbor. That's crazy, Melmac. He went out. Wow. Everybody, Jen. Jeez, that's crazy. Frickin' Africa with his parents. There's no extradition. Thank you,
is so
Allison, for that.
And I've been in touch with them.
Holy
it's
crap.
literally unimaginable to think about what they are going through, but they are so determined to find this killer, and they say they are going to keep the pressure up.
Yeah, I thought they said that in the beginning, like he was Hoodie Guy and he was fine. He was just a neighbor trying to help him get home safely because they were intoxicated or something. And then that's when he walked the other direction. I was like, oh, okay. But, this is, wow.
Breaks her silence for the first time.
We need more answers.
And internet sleuths are on the case.
And this is my...
All right, I'll just mute that. Yeah, right, Bruin? Choke the motherfucker out, right? Jeez. They ain't coming back from Africa. Shit. Or he isn't. But do you think could the parents? Jeez.
Search for Gabby Petito in 2021. We are talking about the armchair detectives, people who sift through social media looking for any possible clue. And in the vacuum of information from Moscow police, their voices are louder than ever. Here's News Nation's Ashley Banfield.
What we know is that 6 missed calls were made from Kaylee to Jack's phone.
Hey, Phantom, if you want to send me the title of, since you can't send me the link, if you want to send me the title of it, I can just copy and paste the title, put it in YouTube, and then go to the video to the 1 minute 8 second mark and check it out. Wow, this is crazy.
Slings in.
I can't believe this shit. No way. And the dude's in Africa.
Pretty much everybody talking about this case. Pure speculation.
Partly
Wow.
through a lack of information.
What
from
the
police.
hell?
Everybody has an opinion and they want to come out and say it. And so what that does is that detracts from the public's ability to trust the information that's out there.
Police have always had to work around rumors. They sift through leads, discarding the hoaxes and the hearsay to try to get to the credible tips. But the sheer volume of tips in this case could take a toll on police resources. But they could also crack the case. Nearly 500 digital media tips have come in to an FBI page.
Yeah, he's doing a great job. And I feel so bad for him too, you know, because it's like he should be on the frickin' police force doing this shit, because he's the only one, in my opinion, that's actually doing anything worth a shit.
And this is my theory on like multiple parts of the case, okay?
Social media sites seizing the moment, said
It's all right. I don't want. Okay, it's not that I don't have faith in you, Jen. That's not it. What I'm trying to say is I don't have the time to sit down and watch a lot of videos before I get on my show. That's all I'm saying. It doesn't have anything to do with faith or belief. I mean, I don't know how many times I've shot you out for great information. It's not about that at all. It's just I don't have the time to be able to pre-watch stuff. And it's been that way since I started the show, really. And that's what I kind of let everybody know is like if you can send news articles or videos from local news or national news and stuff like that, because I can trust what local and national is going to say. I can't trust what somebody else's channel is going to say. You know what I'm saying? And so I have to be conscious of that, and being conscious of that and understanding what I do have available and what I don't have available for opportunities is because I don't have the opportunity to sit down and watch a lot of videos. I have to then approach it in a way where I can go with a direction that's trusted, and then I can also trust you guys for sending me the stuff, because I know if I trust you guys and then you're sending me information, then that's a trust as well. You know what I'm saying? No, I get it, Scottish, but I don't want anybody or her to think that I don't have faith in the info, because that's not it at all. And it's not that I don't want the info. It's not that I don't care about the info. It's not any of those things that have been said in the past. It's I just don't have the time, and I have to approach the show in a way that I can make sure that I have the proper information being displayed on the show. That's all. And knowing that I don't have the time to pre-watch it, I know what I can trust, and then I trust you guys. Hey, Eva, how you doing tonight? Ooh, thank you. Yeah, like I'm saying, Scottish Queen, I've always shouted her out for great information. I've never said I had little faith or anything like that. And I don't want you or anybody to think that, because that's not true, and this is farthest from the truth. When I get home from work, I have to cook supper, I have to take a shower, I have to do stuff around home, and then I finally am able to sit down and get ready to do the show. I wish I had more time. I really do.
With 27,000 members and private Facebook groups, each with tens of thousands of people, are all talking about the Idaho murders and are ripe with wild speculation, many delving into Kaylee, Xana.
I appreciate
Madison,
everybody's
and Ethan's
information
own
and
social
contribution
media
and
accounts.
everything.
But
Totally.
these crowdsourced investigations
I always have.
can also ruin lives as they track down so-called suspects on their own. First, it was the young man in the hoodie seen at the food truck in a video that surfaced days after the murders. Police were flooded with questions about who he was.
I think a lot of people were curious about that person. We were able to identify him.
Police have since cleared that man, but online sleuths soon turned their attention to a new suspect, a neighbor of the victims named Jeremy Reagan. He's a third-year law student at the University of Idaho and gave a TV interview about the comings and goings at the house where the kids were murdered. He admits that he'd given a nervous smile while talking about the crime. Some viewers took issue and made him a target. Soon he pistol for protection. Was social media users that put many of the pieces together and gave police strong clues as to where to look. Back in Moscow, Idaho, with every day that the 4 murders go unsolved, the online investigative community is sure to grow. Each wanting to be the cyber sleuth that unlocks the mystery and solves the crime.
Phantom, Delphi murders. One creator said that Tony Klein's mother has the exact collar. Really? But why would Keegan be at the gas station, Phantom? Because I think Keegan was at the gas station to bring Tony there. But that's interesting. Thanks for that information. Awesome. Happy effing Monday. I'm just going to... I don't know, Jen. It's like every show I'm doing, you think that I'm not wanting your information or something, and that's not the case at all. Or that, or that I'm not getting to it, and I apologize. Like I can't even, that's why I say, like, I can't even get to all of my videos because I can't even get to all of my stuff even. But when you want to say that I have little faith in your info, that's farthest from the truth. And I want to make sure that you know from the very beginning, if you feel that way, that's not the truth. And I want you to understand where I'm coming from, and I don't want you to feel that way. So I want you to understand where I'm coming from so you know what's going on over here. So that way you don't think that it's something else that makes you think that I don't have faith in your info. Because every show that you've been in and every time you've provided information, whether I've put it up or not, I've shouted you out. I mean, hell, a couple nights ago when we were talking about FedEx truck, directly the next night in the very beginning of the show, I shouted you out. And then I even shouted you out after you got in there. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want you to ever think that I don't have faith in your info, because that's the farthest from the truth. And so that's why I said something, and I wanted you to understand. I don't want you to take it as I'm not purposely watching them, because that's not the case. Not at all. I'm gonna put you two in a makeup shirt. Okay, you two. I'm not even upset. I didn't want her to think that I didn't have faith in her info. I shout her out all the time.
At what cost to the professional investigators? And
I don't want anybody to think that I don't have faith in their info. Every show I tell you guys I appreciate you guys. Every show. And I do.
And Ashley Banfield joins me now. Ashley, you have been on this story since the very beginning. You've been doing it every single night on your show. We know with the Gabby Petito case, the online sleuths really had an impact, helped solve what happened. Do you think that could happen in this case?
So the reality is, Brian, that every police officer will tell you when trying to solve a case, there is no detail that is too small. And they ask the public to bring forth any details because sometimes that minute detail can be the linchpin that opens up an entire other set of facts. Well, I don't know how many total officers have eyes on this, but it's upwards of maybe somewhere below 100. And with the online community, they may be able to triangulate some details between photos that may go missed by the detectives on the case. So in one circumstance, it is highly effective to have that many more eyes that could point out something that's critical to the case. But as we just heard, it can also be detrimental, Brian, to Jeremy Reagan and people like him who all of a sudden become targets for attacks. And those attacks can be relentless. I will also say this, Brian, it is not as though an online community hasn't had incredible success before. You mentioned Gabby Petito. There was also a serial killer in Canada that the online community found before the police found him, and the police ignored them. So there are some lessons to be learned from that, and there are some things the community can actually help with in terms of investigation.
That's all I'm saying, Phantom. And
you mentioned
that's
Jeremy.
funny,
I saw him
Bruin.
on your show the other night. He actually lives right down the way here. I can see his apartment
Be
from
like
where I'm standing.
the
You can't
Step
help but
Brothers
feel
photo
bad
or
for that
something,
guy. I
huh?
heard him on your show say that he actually went to the police station to give up his own DNA just because he wanted to clear his name. All right, Ashley, don't go anywhere because we are going to talk to you about this breaking news that we talked about at the top of the show, the new revelations that we have confirmed about the conditions of the bodies, what that might mean in terms of who was targeted. We're going to get to that coming up right after this break. We are live from Moscow, Idaho tonight.
We watched this
Still
stuff
ahead,
last
a
night.
confounding crime scene. How did a killer seemingly go in and out of the house without a trace? And reality is not always what you see on TV.
So about 8 more minutes of this.
That some people think, well, we should be able to do this.
Our exclusive look inside the Idaho State Crime Lab.
Yeah, Kid Kitty, I appreciate everybody's. I always say it.
College students now 3 weeks ago. Still no significant developments, still no named suspect, still no named persons of interest. I want to bring back in Ashley Banfield. And Ashley, I've been looking forward to this because I want to talk to you about this new information that we confirmed just before the special today. The new information is that Kaylee Gonzalez's injuries were significantly more brutal. That is what I can say. Significantly more brutal than her best friend Maddie's injuries. What do you make of that new piece of information, Ashley?
Well, it's astounding, for one, because this is the first time, Brian, that you've been able to get the kind of information that helps us to perhaps try to figure out why this happened. Not saying this is definitive, but it certainly is one additional clue as to whether perhaps Kaylee might have been the target. But you got more information that makes it almost more complicated, and that is where the girls were found. So walk us through what you discovered today, because many of us didn't know which room when Kaylee's father said they were found in the same room and in the same bed.
Yeah, let me show you, Ashley. I want to take you up the hill here and get you oriented. This is the front of the house. There's now private security out front. And oh my, because it's going and it's very, very slippery. But we're going to walk you up to the back of the house. No windows on the side of the house. You've got the front door obviously on the front, which we know has the coded lock. On the back is where the bedrooms are. Confirmed that Kate.
Yeah, Scottish, it's all about the clicks now. I haven't really watched actual TV either. I've watched YouTube, Hulu, and Disney Plus.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was explaining that we confirmed that Kaylee's injuries were more significantly brutal than Maddie's. We've also confirmed that they were on the 3rd floor. I'm going to have Mo show you. third floor here where not easy access. You've got the balcony, there's a slider. You can't easily jump up there. So what this has us wondering, Ashley, and I want you to kind of walk through this with me. If Kaylee's injuries were the most severe up on the third floor, and there's no way out of the third floor, would that mean the killer specifically targeted the third floor because...
Hey, Nicole, thanks for joining. I have a question. While we're watching this, because I already seen this part, I'm going through my new subscription notifications here, and Crime on the Record podcast has a title that says boyfriend breaks silence and is dad losing faith. What boyfriend broke silence? Do you guys know what they're talking about?
Xana and Ethan's. And then did they progress to the third floor? And while your mic was cutting out, I think the key piece of information that the audience couldn't hear was which room upstairs on the third floor the girls were actually found at. That before now, we only knew they were found together, but we didn't know.
Others don't have breaks, but when I watch
Kaylee's room, and so
the commercials
right there, bedroom number E or bedroom E is Maddie's bedroom,
yeah,
and it looks out the back of the house. And Beth is Kaylee's bedroom, and it looks out the front. But
yeah, I pay the $12 to skip commercials. You know. You have to think how much DNA and prints are in that house if it was a bit. I know. And then plus, if you think about like that one post that came out a few days ago about how it kind of took place where they ran, the two survivors ran out and then the friends went in there not knowing, and then all the friends were walking around. The EMS comes there not knowing, they're walking around. It's just everybody walking around all over that place. I can imagine how much stuff is contaminated in there, you know, Bruin. And then now with the dog, it coming out that the dog was at home, but not in the area where the crime took place. What is that, like the other bedroom or something upstairs? I don't get it. Good night, Dre. Thanks for hopping in. And thank you again, Nicole. Kaylee's boyfriend at the vigil. Well, see, that's what Phantom and Scottish were saying, that he was there and that the mom hugged him, but the dad walked by or something. Am I getting that right, everybody? I'm not really sure, Nicole. I tried watching a couple of the vigil videos and I didn't see where the boyfriend or ex, or no, but he's in Africa. So okay, so who Phantom and Scottish, who are you guys talking about at the vigil that hugged somebody but the dad didn't hug them? Because isn't the boyfriend, or no, hoodie guy's in Africa? Allie played it tonight. Really? Yeah, the hoodie guy's in Africa. The boyfriend is the one that the Jack D. Okay, so, and then the hoodie guy is Showalter, right? That it's Showalter. So Jack D is the boyfriend, X. Jack Takur. Okay, so you did get it? All right. Thanks, Phantom. Yeah, the hoodie guy is Showalter. And he's in Africa with his parents. All right, let me see here. Jack Yeah, Jack Showalter's in Africa. They haven't confirmed hoodie guy is him, but ex-boyfriend. Yeah, thank you, Phantom. Let me see here. So she was in the
in her
process of
best
moving
friend's
out.
room. But if the killer went into Maddie's room and yet Kaylee had more injuries and it's dark, it's the middle of the night, this complicates things even more, because if Kaylee was the target, then how would the killer know which one of the girls that was in Maddie's room if they were sleeping? Because they look a lot alike, and in the dark, it would be very tricky to tell. And certainly it wasn't Kaylee's room. So very, very big find that you've discovered, but even more complicating.
Yeah, certainly some big developments tonight that really help us piece together the story. Ashley, I know you've been covering this every single night on your show. You and I have been on the phone late at night discussing all of this, and we'll continue to do the same thing. Ashley, thank you so much for coming on tonight.
You bet.
Okay, we've still got a lot more to come. We are live in Moscow,
It does get
Idaho.
confusing. All right, 108. All right.
News Nation exclusive, a look inside the crime lab.
So I'm going to
system
pause
that
this.
handles-
Okay, we're pretty much done with this. We are going to check out. There is a. This right here that we can listen to as well. It was Kaylee's room, right? She was in Maddie's bed. That's what I'm thinking. I thought the dog was left outside this whole time. Okay, so we'll switch to this. Thank you again, Phantom. And now let me post the link in the chat. And that's what I heard, Nicole. All right, so here's his channel. And I'm just going to play this couple-second clip of what Phantom and Scottish Queen are talking about here. Ava says, who are the J names? Wow, that's a lot. Okay, so that's him. Whoa! Right, Ava? I need a freaking clipboard. Yeah, their bedrooms were separated, but they were found in Maddie's. That's crazy. Wow, now I see what you guys are talking about. Look at the way the dad looks at him, too. So she walks from the other side of him to hug him. Okay, now is this... Now correct me if I'm wrong. I know, Abe. Okay, so correct me if I'm wrong. Is this the mom that said the 2000%? Or is that another mom? Wow, so no wonder she went and hugged him. Holy crap. Thank you, Phantom. Holy crap. Because I didn't see none of the... Dang! The way he looks at him. He looks at him and then looks down in disgust. Wow. And then walks off quick. Now I understand why you guys feel the way you do. I know, Melmac. This dad's awesome, though. This dad's awesome, though. Oh, you think so, Ava? I could see that too. Yeah, I could. Cause where does he live in Moscow? Is it? Oh yeah, because they called him, so he was. I could see that, Ava, because his dad's like, you know what? They called you 7 fucking times. You could have answered your phone. Is that what you mean, Ava? Like he's like, you didn't answer your damn phone. You could have went and. Jack D also gave a look. Dang, so we got people in here that are thinking it's Hoodie Guy, and we got people in here thinking that it's the boyfriend. Holy crap. Might have to open up panel tomorrow night so everybody can give me their arguments. Wow. I mean, but look at that look. I can see, until Ava brought it up, I was thinking the same thing, Fana, but then Ava brought it up, and then I'm like, you know what? I could see him, you know, like, MFer, they called you this many times, and you didn't wake up. And now they're gone. Oh, wow. Have you watched her boyfriend speak? No, I haven't, Nicole. If you have a link for a video or something, send it to evilcj@gmail.com, and then I'll check that out. I haven't seen a video of the boyfriend speaking. Dad is not falling for the boyish charms that the mother. Yeah, because you know what? Like, there's so many. I remember being, you know, that age, and like there was so many fucking dads that hated me. So many fucking dads, but their moms would just be so in love. Dad could just be really pissed at you. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, Bruin. Like, on that side, I don't know. I like, there's a lot of people in here saying Hoodie Guy too, and I haven't really, you know, checked into that part of it. If I were her parent, I'd be pissed. Yeah, exactly, Ava. Like, you know what? They called you this many. It's on this clip. Dad is not falling for the. It's. Oh, at the vigil. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought it was just a different. I thought it was like a separate video. Yeah, let me go to the vigil real quick. Alright, I'm gonna do the News Nation one. Let's see here. So he speaks? No? Wait, what? I'm sorry, Nicole. On the JRL clip? On this one? This is the guy that was standing next to the mom? He looked totally different with a beard. Has Dad ever said he's stands. I don't think I've heard him say that either, Allison. Dad knew what you right, Bruin? Gonna have to FF. The boyfriend spoke at the vigil. You were on it. Yeah, where at? I didn't see it. Let me see here. I thought that was like the maybe it's the longer version, not the News Nation, but this one maybe, because it looked like it just had the dude from the college, the president or something, and then the parents, and then the dad. Yeah, it's got this guy. Some other dude. The mom. The parents. I wish I could. Nicole. I didn't want, yeah, the dad. Is it, where? At the very end here? Let's see here. Yeah, like that, he didn't even look the same, like the dude, if he's got a beard. I was surprised that that's the same dude in the, you know, that we saw in that video thumbnail. Like totally different with the beard. And because I was thinking some little skinny kid or something, and geez, the dude's tall and he's got a beard and he don't even look like, yeah, it does look like he's changing his appearance. Holy crap. Yeah, where at in this visual? The light reddish brown became the dark in just a few years. Did he dye it? Yeah, because it wasn't even that bright. Hugging the parents. I don't know. Yes, yeah, Allison, I do remember that. Oh, you're good. I just don't see where the dude was speaking. That's why I thought you meant the JRO video, because I kind of skimmed over it. He's in the video when it's dark with the lights out.
Not able to do that? You can turn on your light.
It's University of Ida. It's the KTVB.
Before we get started, I would love for you all to turn your lights up to the right so the families up in the Lighthouse Suite can also see it. Kaylee Gonçalves.
And his beard, huh? Yeah, it did. I'm telling you, like, I was surprised when I seen, you know, the hug, and then I seen that thumbnail, the other video. I was like, that's him?
Traditions or none. But we
All right,
gather
that's
as
not
a
him.
community as we navigate the end of wisdom and endurance from speculation and rumor, supported, loved, continued compassion for one another. Light that dispels the shadow of these days.
Okay.
And so we lift up these prayers.
After the singing?
And all those we hold.
I want to thank you all for coming out tonight.
Yeah, I don't know where it's at.
This has been a hard and heavy night, but it's filled with light and love. Continue to support and shine the light for one another. And for those in attendance, I want to remind you that we do have supports here. Team Room A and B, just down this hallway to my right, down to your left.
Yeah, we got this guy. I'm just going to skip ahead every couple seconds here.
And many faith traditions and friends to calm
Somebody-
our fears. We pray for answers, for grief, pain, and we give thanks for other, their family, and this community. Be a light that dispels the shadow of these days.
Team Room A and B, just down this hallway to my right, down to your left.
After the singing, or I don't...
I want to thank you all for coming out tonight. This has been a hard and heavy night.
Where did he talk? I don't see it.
Bright futures. And
So when it turned dark, maybe this one will have it? I don't know.
Community getting prayers of compassion for one.
That for any that wish to head there next, we've got some beverages, some cocoa, some tea, some coffee.
What am I missing?
As you travel back to your places, where you can gather as community and share stories.
What am I missing? I went through the whole thing on two different... Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to see if there's some other... These are all old. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know where it's at. I don't know. These are the only ones that are popping up too. I just type in the vigil. Yeah, I'm not sure. I guess send me a link with the timestamp. Wherever that, because I would like to see him speak. Okay, let me go to... Alright, let me go to this Brian Etten thing. This is like a 19-minute. I want to hear what he has to say about their show there. Yeah, I just heard about that, Ava. When I was going through my sub list, I saw that she passed away at 71. I didn't realize she was 71. Thank you, Nicole. I appreciate that. Yeah, I wish I could have found it. I don't know. I'd like to watch it too. If it's all, you know, sketch. Because that is weird. Like, he's dyeing his hair. And I mean, right now I'm seeing, you know, with dude moving to Africa, no extradition, like Allison said. And then this guy, I can see how how you guys feel like it can be one way or the other. That's interesting stuff. All right, let me hear what he has to say. This came out after they did their special. Oh, come on. Got it. Get rid of it.
Hey everybody, it's Brian. I just wanted to get on here for
Man, he's got to be so cold.
Special. I hope that we did a good job, you know, updating everyone on the case and paying tribute to the victims. And I hope, you know, and their families, because I just feel so bad for them, and I wanted to do a respectable, good job with it tonight. So I hope that it all worked out okay. I'm just waiting for Paige, the producer, to get in here, and then we will get started. 1 second. Sorry. You think I know how to do the spaces by now.
Oh, he's using the nasal stuff. Dang, he's got to be so cold, and he's probably getting sick as hell. I keep seeing videos about this respiratory illness that's going around the U.S. right now. I saved a couple videos on that too. Maybe
Paige,
hoping we might be able to get into it. I'm not sure though.
I sent you an invite, Paige, if you hear me. Sorry, guys. 1 second. We're just trying to figure this out. I think we're both just exhausted, too.
Yeah.
I think you just have to unmute Paige. All right, I just accepted you. There we go.
Ah,
yeah,
there we are.
It's almost like the little audio issue we had in the show. We had another audio.
Oh my gosh, you would think that we would know how to do this by now.
So thank you guys for joining.
No way, Melmac.
Special. We had the new information.
No way.
Off the top, and we talked about it throughout. Basically, that Kaylee's injuries were significantly more brutal than Maddie's. That they were in the same room together, up on the 3rd floor, which is really interesting to think about. That the killer, you know, went up to the 3rd floor because there's a balcony up there. There's a slider, but there's no access to the ground. So if you were the killer, I mean, there's not an easy way to leave from the 3rd floor. You'd have to go back down to the 2nd floor, which is why some people are thinking, could that indicate that, you know, that Kaylee was targeted up on the 3rd floor? I mean, what do you make of it, Paige?
So they're thinking he had to go to the 3rd floor first.
Been wondering about who and which floor and what path the killer may have taken, but I think learning that they were in Maddie's room, right? We've looked at those floor plans. It's the one away from the balcony. It makes you wonder. You know, we heard the father, Steve, Kaylee's dad, say before, you know, he didn't have to go up there. A lot of people wondering what that meant. I think maybe this gives us a little bit more clarity.
Yeah, I felt like hopefully the victims stories really came through in the piece. Just, you know, trying to enjoy their college experience, just really, really good young people, it seemed like. And that to me, you know, the victim's story that we did, I just felt like that really brought the whole thing, just made it more real. Because we've talked about this, it's so easy to get wrapped up in the investigation, but like, you know, these were real people with real families that are really like hurting right now.
Right. And what we really tried to do was dive in and see what we could learn about them and their personalities and the little things that they liked and the little quirks that we all have, to really try to personalize them. Because that's how you understand why their families are fighting so hard for them and why they should be. You know, we talk about it before, but you see yourself in some of them and your past experiences. So that was something that I'm really hoping that we did a job well done on, was making sure that, you know, people really felt compelled and learned about the victims and just sort of related to these families.
Yeah. And by the way, everybody listening, if you guys want to ask,
he said that he was asleep, Kid Kitty, and that's why he didn't answer the phone. Let me see. It was a currently private battle of killed Maddie first, then Kaylee, then came downstairs. Wow, Phantom. So you think he went after Maddie first, then Kaylee? You know, Brewitt, like I said, I hit backspace more than I do the actual letters that get sent. It's ridiculous, but just because of all it's not even an autocorrect anymore. It's an auto gibberish, really. So you think that Phantom, you think that they killed Maddie first and then Kaylee, huh? I don't know. Yeah, especially in the show Cheers, she was awesome. Even in what was the movie she was in? The Look Who's Talking. Those were funny as hell too. I think this guy has a lot of balls, but I don't know if enough to trap himself on the. So what do you think? Like, how come? So you don't think like she would have ran off or something? Like, how do you think that even took place, Phantom? Like, if they're both in the same room, right, Melback? It's not autocorrect anymore. I used to live off of autocorrect. Now it says shit that I don't even mean to say. So how do you think that took place though, Phantom? Like, two people at once. Yeah, there's some stuff going around. I saved some news clips for tonight if we can get to them about the COVID and the new respiratory illness that's spreading through the U.S. I do kind of like to hit up on the medical stuff here and there just to kind of help everybody stay up. I think he used disabling stat. Okay. Wow.
That's the question.
Such great theories and thoughts.
Different to me. You can why don't I used to see the little icons, but I don't see them now. But you can just comment. Like, I posted the spaces on my Twitter where it says join me in my space. You can just like comment under there with your question, and I'll keep refreshing it to see what you guys have to say.
What, so there's no questions then, since the video is only like 15 minutes?
More severe because she fought back harder or was trying to protect Maddie, and not necessarily that she was targeted. I mean, that's a really good point. I hadn't thought about that.
Like, before. I never even thought about these theories until the show tonight.
Maybe she was trying to defend Maddie. I mean, they were best friends forever. That wouldn't be surprising at all.
Right. It kind of gives you like chills thinking about it, doesn't it?
Yeah. No, it really does.
I think once we still are waiting. We've heard that some of the victims have had the defensive
that's
wounds,
interesting,
and
bro.
we don't necessarily know for sure who is what, but obviously that would shed a lot of insight into what happened in that house too.
Someone else is saying, didn't we always know that the perpetrator went to the 3rd floor? Yes, we did know that. We knew that, because for a while, police have been saying that the victims were on the 2nd and 3rd floor, not the 1st floor. But what we didn't know until tonight was that Kaylee's injuries were more severe.
Yeah, that's true, Phantom. Yeah.
So that's sort of the new element, and that they were in.
And you're in shock too, so
bed.
Yeah, and
you're
a couple
almost
people
frozen in a
asking
way
for
too.
the
I bet.
clarity of if Kaylee's wounds were worse than everyone or just Maddie, and from what we know, the information was the comparison to Maddie.
Yeah, some of you are telling me about like some police activity on campus, so we'll check that out too. I mean, it's likely,
Ooh, that Melmac.
Probably not related, but we'll
Damn, I never thought of that.
I'm just reading more comments here.
When it comes to this theory, holy crap! Yeah, shit. Yeah, then it didn't matter if there were 2. You could do that shit quick as hell, then, huh?
Wow. But we don't know exactly where they were. A lot of people have been asking me if they're at the vigil. There was a story earlier. Did you happen to catch it, Paige?
Thank you, Phantom. I appreciate it. I mean,
I think a pastor. Have you seen that?
Yep, that's right. They did at one of the celebrations of life. They spoke about their 4 roommates, obviously, in these pretty.
All right. I don't think they really have any. Let me skip ahead. Yeah, I remember when I got into a car accident, I was at a stoplight and somebody going 50. I look up in my rearview mirror and I'm stopped at a stoplight. I look up in my mirror and all of a sudden about 4 seconds later, I got fucking slammed into. And those 4 seconds when I looked up, I just kind of went, is that car really coming this? Bam! I fucking froze. Like, you're almost like, whoa, is this really fucking happening? I hope that, yeah. Same here, Ava.
Someone's asking, has any more info on Jack?
I wish that's how we all went.
Has his alibi been confirmed, or has he been checked back into? Have you seen the footage? So yes, I've seen the footage. In terms of the alibis, so we don't know the specific alibis of the people who've been cleared. That is something that Kaylee's family.
That's a good point, Melmac, with the earbuds.
They feel that they should be given that information. If someone's cleared, they want to know what the alibi is. Of course, like a ton of law enforcement experts have spoken and said, just because you're on the cleared list doesn't mean that someone's always going to be cleared. So, we don't really know how that's going to play out. Let's see.
Brian, I thought one of the interesting parts from your sit down with Kaylee's family was when the dad was talking a lot about the family itself doesn't like the whole connotation, the whole idea that comes with this being targeted. Do you want to talk about that more, or at least being labeled targeted?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's just been so confusing since the beginning. Like, no one really knows what that means, including the family. Easy, which I mean, I still don't understand exactly what that means.
Hey, Silky, thanks for joining. I'm just going to go ahead and skip. Thank you for the link, Melmac. I'm going to go ahead and play this real quick. Yeah, I hope you're having a good night at work. You're all good. I do the same thing when I'm at work. I'm listening to ATS, CDT, Alex. Or I might just be, sometimes I can't even really be listening because I'm not even by the machine. That's so sad though. Passed away today at 71. You work at a jail? Oh shit. Well, yeah, don't be worrying about chat. Thanks for hopping in. All right, let me. There's a video I'm going to go to here. There's a couple News Nations that came out a little bit ago. I'm going to click on these real quick and then see if anything new came out. You have to read. Oh, you want me to read it? Oh, okay. Hold on. Ah. Let me get rid of this closed captioning. Oh, you're a nurse. Okay, I just have to say. Jerry. She just put SST and she's like, damn, Phantom. Kirstie Alley, known as the star of films and TV shows, including Cheers and Look Who's Talking, has died. She was 71. You know what that makes me think of, Silky Southern Tea, is that show that was on Fox like 15 years ago called Prison Break. Not saying that you're that nurse or anything. I'm just saying that it just makes me think of that. We are sad to inform you that our incredible, fierce, and loving mother has passed away after a battle with cancer only recently discovered. 71? I didn't know she was 71. To all our friends far and wide around the world, we are sad to inform you that our incredible, fierce, and loving mother has passed away after a battle with cancer only recently discovered. She was surrounded by her closest family and fought with great strength, leaving us with a certainty of her never-ending joy of living and whatever adventures lied ahead. And as iconic as she was on screen, she was an even more amazing mother and grandmother. We are grateful to the incredible team of doctors and nurses at the Moffitt Cancer Center for their care. Her mother's zest and passion for life, her children, grandchildren, and her many animals, not to mention her eternal joy of creating, were unparalleled and leave us inspired to live life to the fullest just as she did. We thank you for your love and prayers and ask that you respect our privacy at this difficult time. With love always true, and Lily Parker. Right, Phantom? Super fast. And I promised you I'd get to those links from yesterday morning, Phantom, and we will. Okay, let me play this one now, and I'm going to look to see if we have anything else that's updated in the last hour.
Larry Kobolinski, the idea that it may have been
Thank you, Melmac.
or other heavy military hunting style fixed blade knife, that does shed some understanding on why the coroner is floored by the scene. Yes? Explain.
One thing that we haven't seen yet are the autopsy reports. And the autopsy reports are going to describe each and every blow from that knife. And from that information,
I do need to
the
go into
coroner
Delphi
is
too.
going to be able to say the knife is either serrated or no, it's straight edge. The coroner will be even able to say the width
Something at 9
of the
on
blade.
Court
Is
TV.
it 2 inches? Is it 1.5
Oh,
inches? Is
we
it
already
3
know about
inches?
it though.
What they cannot do is tell the length of the blade, because once
I
you
hope
put
they
the
get a
knife in,
private
it can go
investigator.
different distances. You can't really measure that in a body, but there is some basic information that you can have, and I think that's why the police are focusing their attention on a type of knife based upon the width of the blade and whether it's serrated or straight edge.
TJ, you've seen so many fact patterns.
No, there
like
was
this
a
that have
couple.
confusing, aspects to it early on, especially.
There was a couple I didn't
the
hit
one
on.
that I can't get my hands around yet is what happened the next
It was a
morning,
different case that
with
we
the other
haven't talked
roommates who
about yet, I
survived.
think,
Why
Phantom.
they survived, why they weren't targeted, we don't know. Whether it was just
Arabella
dumb luck,
McCormick or something?
happenstance, or choice, but the call, someone's unconscious. How did they get in? Did they call their
I never
people
heard
or
of that
friends to
one
come over?
so
How do you
far.
understand that part of this?
I did want to bring it up at some point.
Well, you really can't understand until we start getting some information from law enforcement. And I know the family is totally frustrated. Yesterday,
Right,
there was
Bruin?
information that came out
Stay
that
safe.
they wanted to hire a private investigator. And why I guess to say that I'm in the spotlight now.
And speaking of, I do want to throw her link out there. She does have a new video that came out. Oh my gosh. Let me see here. I'm going to go to her channel in a second because I can't remember what the name of the video it is. And I wasn't able to check it out, but I'm going to try and check it out tomorrow. The
And I
coffin.
think it would be a
I
good
don't want to
idea. It
misspeak.
might ease some information that people that talk to witnesses and all that talk to law enforcement may be more willing to talk to a private investigator because they're not law enforcement and be able to gather information and be able to share that with the family and to give them some closure about what's happening with law enforcement.
And I wanted to say thank you, Silky, for the shout out in the beginning and the end of your video. I didn't have any idea that you were doing that. And when I sat back and watched that video, I was like, aw, thank you so much. Phantom going to make another.
There's a lot of information that's having to be
I
gathered.
hope when they
We don't
do
have
the
one victim, we have
they
4
are
victims.
handled.
And then there
Yes,
are
Bruin.
other characters that were
Totally.
in the house and people in the house. And again, we don't know if this was a man or a woman or whatever.
Uh-oh.
We don't know. It
Right.
could have
Uh-oh,
been a
Silky.
distracted housewife or somebody that was jealous or whatever. So we don't know because I've heard a lot of talk about this man and this man. It may not be a man.
I
It
wanted
may
to
be a
have you
woman
on
right now. We
Saturday
don't know
night.
at
We
this
were
point.
talking Delphi
But again,
too.
I've reached out to the family and told them
Justice
I'm
was on the
available. I
panel
have 2
Saturday.
good homicide detectives that are retired here from Atlanta and that work with
I
me,
was
and
like,
we'd be
"Where's
more than happy to
Silky
get in
at?"
here and start pulling pieces together.
Get the
And if
Delphi
we learn
chat up.
something that's new and credible, we'll turn it over to law enforcement. But I think it would help the family quite a bit that they know they have somebody that they can trust and somebody on their side.
Yeah,
that
they
can help
need that
them
private.
and move
I can't
forward
wait to
on
find
their
out
behalf.
what that private
And
investigator
the one thing that you
gets.
know very well, and in fact, everybody on the screen right now understands that may be new for people at home. All these families want, of course, they want answers. They want their babies home. They want their loved ones home, to have them, to bury them, and to have that moment and closure. It's very, very important in these situations.
Damn,
And the
Brian, you
time
should be
between
wearing
when
a
that happens
stocking
and
cap or
now
something. The
is
way
an
you're
eternity for
sniffling.
them, and you have to appreciate that pain.
Yeah,
in everything that
here, I'll post the
transpires.
link
Hey,
again.
thank you for watching. Please go to newsnationnow.com.
Oh shoot! Hold on one second. I gotta
newsnationnow.com, and you
back
can
out of
find
that
News
before it
Nation
starts
on your
going
television
crazy.
provider. And don't forget to click the red
Thanks for the
subscribe button down
follow.
below. Then you'll get more of News Nation's fact-driven.
Sorry, of WineMod 2 on Twitch. I appreciate it. Hop on over to
Brian, have you
YouTube
heard anything about
if you're on
that?
YouTube. Just search Evil CJ and then you'll see our live show on YouTube. You'll be able to participate a lot more. Everybody on YouTube won't be able to see your messages, buddy. Right. Let me go to this one right here. No, we just watched that. Wait. Misinformation. Creme 2. Let me click on this real quick.
Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us here for Creme
Yeah,
News
let me
for
post the
Creme
link, Cherry.
Ward.
Here we go.
3 weeks since the murders of 4 University of Idaho students in Moscow, and there have been no arrests for the killings of Madison Mogen, Kaylee Gonzalez, Xana Kernodle, and Ethan Chapin. Just a few hours ago, the Moscow Police Department cleared up more misinformation on this case. Crime 2's Mark Hanrahan is joining us here
There's
now
no
to break down
videos
some new details
that are
just
new.
released by investigators this afternoon. Mark?
Good evening, Whitney. 24
Just
days.
stuff we've
that's how
already
long it's been
watched
since the
or
4 college
seen.
students were found stabbed to death inside their off-campus home in Moscow, Idaho. The case has captured
So I'll
national
get to my links, and then we'll get to some of these other videos I have saved.
The Moscow
I'm not
Police
seeing
Department
anything brand new
continues to
so
battle
far.
disinformation spreading in this case, and tonight they are clearing up rumors about where Kaylee's dog was found inside the home and an alleged stalker.
Yeah,
Kaylee
inside
had
now.
told friends about. Investigators say Kaylee's dog was in the house.
I thought
when
they always
arrived to the
reported
scene,
it
but
being
the
found
dog was
outside.
not found in the room with any of the victims. Police say the dog was not in a room where the crimes were committed, and there was no evidence that it had gone into those parts of the house. The dog was taken to a local shelter, and it was later
So was
released
that the
back to family.
bathroom?
Next, the claims that Kaylee had a stalker. Investigators say they looked.
So what? What'd they do? Like bring the dog into the bathroom and shut the door? Is that? A fast drink and a fast typer. Better watch out.
An incident in mid-October, which is where they believe the stalker claims originated that Kaylee made to friends. Now, according to
That's a
police,
double
Kaylee
threat.
was at an unidentified local business. 2 men were seen inside attempting to pick up women. One of those men appeared to follow Kaylee out to her car, but did not make any contact with her, according to police. Investigators say both men have been investigated and cleared as suspects. Here's what Idaho State Police's public information officer had to say about that today.
And can you speak to that at all? Have you guys investigated claims of a stalker for Kaylee, and where does that stand?
Yes, we have. And today we were able to come out that we had found a situation, an incident occurred at a local business where it appeared that a male had followed Kaylee through the store and then as well possibly out to her vehicle. It didn't appear that there was any contact that was made between the two. We have investigated that. We have talked to the individuals involved, and we do not believe in any way that they're actually part of this actual crime.
Police are also asking for more information about Xana and Ethan's activities the night of the murders. Police are looking for any insight into their movements and behaviors between 9 p.m. and 1:45 a.m. when police say the two arrived back at the house. Police say they believe the pair were at a Sigma Chi fraternity party that night, and the house is just a walk away from the home on 1112 King Road where they were killed. Any detail, no matter how small, they say, could be the key to this case. And finally, I asked Aaron Snell, the communications director for ISP, if they feel better about their case today than they did on day one. He said, absolutely. They do feel better about their case right now. Meantime, if you have any information about Ethan and Xana the night they were killed, you're urged to contact the Moscow Police Department tip line. It's 208-883-7180. You can also send an email to that address.
Yeah. Is it about the most haunted house? The newest video? There was some new video that I saw pop up on Silky's channel. I just wasn't able to get to it today at work. I've been real busy the last 2 weeks at work. It's been nuts. Usually I was able to get to chat pretty decent, even watch it, but this last week and a half, 2 weeks, it's like I barely have like 5 seconds. Drink sounds good. Probably just a glass of wine or something. All right, let me there was no link in that Phantom, but I do want to check this out real quick just to see what this case is that you brought to the attention. 3 weeks, so 5 days ago. Adoptive family, what was charged? What? No bail for adoptive.
A plea for bail today in an El Cajon courtroom from the adoptive family members charged in the death of an 11-year-old girl. Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Marcella Lee.
I'm Carlo Cicchetto. Disturbing new details came out in court, including the fact that
Arabella McCormack weighed just 48 pounds at the time of her death. As our David Goffson
Wow,
reports, Arabella's
48
biological mother
pounds?
sat in court holding a photo of her dead daughter.
A 911
What?
call on August 30th reporting a girl
Is this the one you're talking about, Phantom?
brought ambulances to the McCormick home in Spring Valley.
When they arrived, they found 11-year-old Arabella lying on the living room floor. She was pale, unresponsive, and had no pulse.
11-year-old Arabella McCormick was later declared dead at the hospital. Her adoptive mother and grandparents are now charged with torture in the girl's death. In El Cajon Court Tuesday, attorneys for the adoptive mother, Letitia McCormick, and her mother, Adela Tom, asked the judge to set bail.
Ms. McCormack has no prior arrests, no prior convictions.
So they adopted this poor girl and then did this to her?
There is no evidence to support an argument that she poses a danger to the public.
Your Honor, she has support from friends that would allow her to live with them if released on home recognizance or a bail amount that's set that would be affordable for her.
That's when Deputy District Attorney Meredith Pro revealed the gruesome details of Arabella's death.
At the time of her death, Arabella visibly was already severely emaciated. Her bones were
What's that?
from her skin. She had visible bruising, lacerations to her body. After further investigation, it was learned she had 15 healing bone fractures.
Whoa.
The prosecutor said Arabella and her two younger sisters were all malnourished, and she alleged the adoptive family members forced the girls to exercise and withheld water, all while the girls were starving to death.
She also weighed 48 pounds, which was less than what she weighed at the age of 5 years old.
Also in the courtroom, the girl's biological mother, who lost custody of the children in 2017.
This is Arabella.
So the
This is
mom
my
lost
least favorite picture of her because of how skinny she is in this photo. And
Why'd she lose custody?
so they can see. So Letitia and her mother can stare at what they did.
In the end, the judge denied
Why
bail,
was she-
saying the defendants were clearly a danger to society and a flight risk. They face life in prison if convicted.
So all
Okay,
three
wait a
defendants
minute.
will continue to be held without bail. They'll be back in court on January 18th. At the
What? Hold on a second.
To her body.
The prosecutor said Arabella and her two younger sisters were all malnourished.
Bella, this is my least favorite picture of her because of how skinny she is in this photo. And I held it up so they can see. So
Also in the courtroom, the girl's biological mother, who lost custody of the children in 2017.
2017. Why'd she lose custody of the... Does it say? Why did she lose custody?
Arabella.
Do you know?
This
Do you know, Phantom? Do you know why she lost custody in the first place?
Also in the courtroom, the girl's biological mother, who lost custody of the children in 2017.
This is Arabella. This is my least favorite picture of her because of how skinny she is in this photo. And I held it up so they can
My least favorite picture. That's an interesting way to put it. My least favorite
This
picture.
is my least favorite picture of her because of how skinny she is in this photo. And I held it up so they can see. So
How about this is my most concerning picture because of how skinny she is. Maybe, Mom?
Letitia and her mother can stare at what they did.
In the end, the judge denied bail, saying the defendants were clearly a danger to society and a flight risk. They face life in prison if convicted.
So all
This case right here, this Kid Kitty, these ladies right here. Yeah. They're trying to get bail. They're trying to get bail right now, this one and this one, but because the lawyers are making a case that they're not a flight risk and they don't pose any danger to society and yada yada yada. But geez, they probably know what they're they probably know what they're going to be facing, and I wouldn't want them to be out on the street either, because who says they're not going to do something to themselves, you know? Stuff like that needs. Love the fluffy. Wow. The least favorite photo, that sticks out to me. So that's the only video that came out. Otherwise, everything, let's see, hearing on. Otherwise, wow. 15 bone, like her bones were sticking out from her skin and everything. Jeez. That's crazy. All right. I want to. Let me go back to my folder here now. Actually, let me check, see if anything news came out here real quick. Yeah, they don't need to be out at all, Melmac. Like, that's crazy. Let me see here. Some court TV thing, but that's really just repeating what we watched already. All right, let me go to my folder here real quick. Yeah, they don't deserve bail. Come on. And then Allison sent me a link saying that they're looking at this guy in Colorado again as a possible suspect for Delphi. That'll be interesting. Okay, let me switch back to here. There is a Crime Talk episode. Where is that? And then this is another case I wanted to kind of check out. I seen kind of scrolling across Hilton Head woman disappearance. I thought I'd look that up too. Something I saw before. Let me see. Is an arrest coming? Where is the Crime Talk? There it is. And then we will go to. That's another one I thought might be interesting to watch. Richard Allen's most likely escape route. Is an arrest coming? And then I wanted to check this one out. So let me go Crime Talk real quick.
Next on the docket, people close to the Delphi case will no longer be able to talk about it, at least until a hearing that's going to be held in January. On Friday, late Friday, Judge Francis Gull issued an order granting the state's motion for a gag order in the Richard Allen case. The order was issued after Allen's defense released a press release Thursday speaking out against the evidence presented by the recently released probable cause affidavit. Now, here's the court's order. On the court's motion in response to motion, the court imposes a gag order in the Delphi case. I'll explain what it means. At least one family member. Next on the docket, people close to the Delphi case will no longer be able to talk about it, at least until a hearing that's going to be held in January. On Friday, late Friday, Judge Francis Gull issued an order granting the state's motion for a gag order in the Richard Allen case. The order was issued after Allen's defense released a press release Thursday speaking out against the evidence presented by the recently released.
And he doesn't feel too confident about this evidence that they have against him either.
On the court's motion in response to defendant's undated press release, the court issues an order granting the state's motion for order prohibiting the parties, counsel, law enforcement officials, court personnel, coroner, and family members from disseminating information or releasing any extrajudicial statements by means of public communication in whole, pending hearing, which court has just recently scheduled for January 13th of 2023 at 10 a.m. in the Carroll Circuit Court. Now, what is interesting is, yes, the prosecution filed a gag order, but the court kind of did it on its own and said, yeah, I'm prohibiting everybody. We'll address the issue at a later date. Now, the state of Indiana, like most states or all states, actually have rules of professional conduct. Specifically, Rule 3.6 addresses trial publicity in its entirety, and Rule 3.8, the special responsibilities of prosecutors. Violations of the court's order are punishable by contempt of court and subject to fine and or jail. Now, the prosecutors in this case previously asked for a large gauge order to be filed, which would bar Allen, all of his attorneys connected in the case, from making any sort of extrajudicial.
It's in Delphi, Indiana. And basically, right now they're trying to get a change of venue for the trial, to have a fair trial, and they're making a pretty good argument for it. We went through all the court papers at the end of last week, and they're trying to make an argument to have a fair trial in a different location outside of a 150-mile radius, which only leaves the bottom 5 counties of Indiana available for it, which means the trial will probably go to Evansville if they get their request granted to have a change of venue. So it's going to be interesting what happens. Scott if we watched his video yesterday on the bullet and all that stuff, and he made a lot of good points of how the evidence isn't that solid, and then you combine the fact with the defense attorney for Richard Allen is also a co-counsel in another case in Indiana for a triple homicide right now, and he was able to get the murder weapon dismissed from the trial based off of an illegal search from the police. So I don't know. I got a feeling that he's going to take all of this doubt that could happen, whether it's the vehicle descriptions compared to the vehicle he has, the type of weapon that most law enforcement carry, and it's a highly mass-produced pistol. So really, it could have fell out of anybody's gun probably, and if there's a lot of cops around, I'm sure, at the crime scene, then I'm sure he's going to create doubt there too, because it could as well have been one. I don't know, this lawyer, he's making a pretty good defense for him. He's telling him he never sold his car, he never got rid of the gun, he never got rid of the clothes, he never moved, he never changed anything, he never, seriously, Ava, like yesterday, after we watched his episode, and because I respect his opinion a lot when it comes to any of these court cases that he talks about, yesterday's episode was just like, it totally left you like so nervous about what's going to happen in the trial. If it's, because then it's like, okay, so if this is what the evidence was, somebody said in chat yesterday, it was a great point too, that it was enough evidence to arrest him, but it's not enough evidence to convict. So then if that's the case, then I don't understand why they came out and said today was the day if it's not rock solid. It made me think like it was, Well, from what he was saying, Melmac, yesterday, Scott Reich, he was saying that he said that you could have so many factors when it comes to the track mark that's being left on those. He doesn't even feel that it's that strong at all. I mean, he went into the bullet and the gun, and he basically he gave me doubt, because before that I was like, okay, yeah, the marks from a gun, this and that, right? And then after his show and the way he was talking about it and how he was explaining the bullet and the marks and the different possibilities that the marks or any marks being left, and then the type of gun, and just I after that episode, I was just like, oh my gosh, the bullet marks really don't make sense. Yeah, exactly, Ava. That's what he was saying. Like the marks, it's one thing if you shoot it, but he was saying even dirt and gunk in the gun can create a separate mark that doesn't even match that weapon. So there's like all these possibilities. Yeah, I definitely check out his video from yesterday, because that's a good watch. Yeah, he went into it it was a pretty decent amount too, maybe 20 minutes or something, 15-20 minutes he was getting into it. Totally like, I was sitting here thinking, yes, they got him, we're getting ready to get him on trial, all this other stuff. And then after yesterday's Crime Talk episode, I'm just like, oh crap, this ain't good. This ain't good at all. And then you mix it with what his defense lawyer is able to do in this other case. You mix those two together, and then you're just like, oh my gosh, this is like double not good. I hope so, Melmac. I hope there is, but if the crime scene was that muddy and bloody, I hope. Because if they don't, I don't know. If they don't have DNA, Melmac, I don't. With what they have right here, that they've shown, yeah, this defense attorney is gonna have a field day with this prosecutor, guarantee it. Because Scott Reich, he even put out even showed like the evidence that the prosecutors have. He even showed the evidence that the prosecutors have and how all that evidence could be disputed. It's a good watch from yesterday, seriously. Very good watch. Yeah, and then he's not even followed up on. It's bad.
Like I said, the court,
it makes you wonder.
And didn't
it really
wait
does
for a
make you
whole
wonder,
hearing on it,
like, what
and the gag
is it
order
exactly?
will remain in place until that January 13th hearing. And Mr. Allen's attorneys have also asked for a change of venue,
because that lawyer's going to have a
citing
field day
extensive
with the
media attention
prosecutor.
and the
That's
highly
what they-
publicized nature
that's all
of this
they
case
have.
as reasons to move the trial some 150 miles away in order to reduce the likelihood of obtaining a tainted jury pool. I think that one has a pretty good chance of being granted. Most chains of venues,
Yeah, it
well,
does.
they're not.
They
And
made a
most
pretty good
criminal
argument to
defendants
have
will
it
say immediately when
to
they
have
don't
the
like
venue
judge
changed.
or the district attorney, they'll say,
So it's probably
I
coming
want
to
to change of
Evansville.
venue. You have to be able to show you're probably not going to get a fair and impartial jury. Hell, in this particular case, you had the judge that said they couldn't be fair and impartial. So I think that's pretty reasonable that a motion to have a
Scott.
change of venue has a pretty
His
high
sarcasm
probability
is the
of
best.
being granted. Next on the docket, some of the family members in the Idaho College campus slaying, well, saying they lost faith and confidence in the police. Now, Steve Goncalves, the father
Yeah.
of the University of Idaho,
I mean, it makes sense,
murder
Ava.
victim,
The
Kaylee Goncalves,
the
said
arguments
that
they
he
come
has
out
lost
with for
confidence
it
in the
definitely
police
makes sense.
investigation surrounding his daughter's death
Of why it needs
as a
to be
result of poor
moved.
communication and a lack of progress in the case. It leaves the victims' families desperate for answers. Now, Mr. Goncalves vowed to continue speaking out publicly and has encouraged the other victims' family to do the same in advance. Mr. Goncalves said that his daughter, Kaylee, had injuries that were significantly more brutal than the other victims, which is driving theories that she was the target of the homicide. Kaylee's family revealed her injuries over the weekend were more extensive than those suffered by Xana Kernodle, her boyfriend Ethan Chapin, or even Maddie Mogen, who was in the bed when they were murdered on November 13th, when they were in the same bed on November 13th. Now, the family is growing increasingly frustrated with the bungled police investigation into their daughter's murder, which has so far produced no real leads or suspects. The family is turning to a private investigator to help them find out some answers. I'm not sure what private investigator will be able to do that the police haven't already done, but you never know. They're going to go back and look at everything. It could help.
You never know.
Now, Kaylee's father said that he was horrified to learn that some of the detectives on the murder unit within the Moscow Police Department were in only their mid-20s. He says they're very inexperienced, and he doesn't want anyone making mistakes on his child's case. He previously said that Kaylee's injuries were worse than the other kids, but he didn't go into detail. Now, he fumed over the weekend that detectives are allowing the case to go cold, and that while they may not appreciate his continued interaction with the media, it's necessary to find his daughter's killer. He also revealed during the interview this weekend that the police have asked him not to specify whether he believes his daughter was the intended target. He said, quote, "I probably over-disclosed information that they wish I wouldn't have said, but the story's going cold. There's less people coming to Moscow. I'm not going to go to sleep in my bed knowing that I could get up and I could go to town and I could do something, and I'm not going to go away." He says he hates to be the pain, but as father, he can't sleep thinking I could be doing something.
Yeah.
Now, for those who aren't familiar, Kaylee.
Okay, and we know this. Oh, geez. Not a show without a sex spot. 1 second. All right. When he stole tools from a neighbor, I hope, Melmac, I seriously, because I think it is, rich guy. Man, you know what? Speaking of, let me switch to this. Yeah, check this out.
Richard Allen, the man accused of murdering Abby Williams and Libby German back in Delphi.
Sorry, it was
Indiana.
3 days ago. But yeah, check this out, Melmac.
Have fired back against the evidence presented by
I hope they have
investigators. That's
DNA or
right.
something,
I think
because
they may
if
have
this
been
is all
watching
they have,
Crime Talk. So attorneys Brad Rozzi and Andrew Baldwin stated that they argued on
I
behalf
hope they
of
have
unsealing
DNA,
the court
'cause I
documents because
would hate to
Rick,
see
their
this
client,
guy walk
has
off-
nothing to
walk
hide,
off.
and that they hope that releasing the information would lead to tips that assist them in proving his
Yeah,
innocence.
this is
Now,
crazy.
they
It
said
definitely
Rick is a
creates
50-year-old
doubt
man
in
who
your
has never
head
been
after you
arrested
watch this.
nor accused of any crime in his entire life. Allen's lawyer said he is innocent and completely confused as to why
As a
he's been
jury,
charged with
not
these
as
crimes.
me, 'cause
His
I
attorneys
already
continue to
feel
say
what
they
I
chose
feel. I'm
to
just
speak
saying, as
out
a
after
juror,
stating that both police
would
and the
definitely
prosecutors have been
create
able
doubt.
to conduct multiple press conferences over the past 5+ years, while Mr. Allen has only had a single post press conference in which to assert his innocence. Attorneys went on to question the evidence in the court documents and asked if a single magic bullet is proof of guilt. It is a bit premature to engage in any detailed discussions regarding the veracity of this evidence until more discovery is received, but it is safe to say that the discipline of tool mark identifications is anything but scientific. The entire discipline has been attacked in courtrooms across the country.
He better not. Seriously, Melmac, because man, when I finished watching this last night, I was so discouraged about. I just hope they have something else that they're not sharing, and I'm sure they do. I just hope it's DNA or something. Seriously, because these lawyers are ready to have a field day. It's gonna suck. And I just hope everybody's got their crap together, you know. Yes. Good night, Melmac. I appreciate you hanging out. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yeah, this is
as unreliable and lacking any scientific validity, and that they anticipate.
I don't even know how they could get. Honestly, I don't know. I don't know how they could get a fair trial in Evansville, because I'm sure. I mean, it's been around for 5 years and something, and it's in Indiana. You know.
They're going to vigorously challenge any claims by the prosecution as to the reliability of its conclusion concerning the magic bullet.
Later, Gator.
Like I said, they must have been watching our live program that we did
Sweet
the other
dreams.
night in regards to ballistics. It's junk, ladies and gentlemen. It's junk science. It really is. Allen's attorneys further pointed out that Allen,
See, he called
the other
it junk
night
science,
in regards to
Melmac.
ballistics.
This is Scott saying
It's
it.
junk, ladies and gentlemen. It's junk science. It really is. Allen's attorneys further pointed out that Allen's Ford Focus is not in any way similar to the distinctive
man,
look
this is-
of the PT Cruiser or a smart car that witnesses described. Huh. They must have been watching the show on Wednesday, I believe, when we discussed the exact same thing.
His
It seems
sarcasm.
that the
If anybody wants this
state police
video,
are trying
here's the link.
to bend facts to fit their narrative. The attorneys went on to detail Mr. Allen's character by stating that in the 5 years since Allen provided police with information, he never got rid of his vehicle, his guns, or threw things out regarding his clothing, nor did he alter his appearance or relocate to another community. My
These
goodness,
lawyers
I'm
are gonna
actually
have a field
convinced
day.
They've been watching Crime Talk. These are all the things that we discussed the other day. He did what any innocent man would do and continued his normal routine, his attorneys argue. According to his lawyers, Mr. Allen shared information with the police and conservation officers voluntarily, and he didn't hear from police for another 5 years. The lawyers also point out that police contacted Mr. Allen 2 weeks before a contested sheriff's election and within days of a lawsuit being filed where the Carroll County deputy claims he was demoted over suggestions offered for the Delphi murder investigation. Allen's lawyers also questioned the Carroll County prosecutor's previous allegations of others being involved in the slaying of the Delphi girls, stating that there was no mention in the probable cause affidavit about the second suspect involved in the killing. The defense is confused by such discrepancies in the investigation and will be in a better position to respond as more discovery is received. Allen's lawyers finally
prayers,
stated their
Melmac.
intent moving forward is to scrutinize
I
the
don't want him
discovery,
to.
give attention to the tip.
I don't want him to. Like, I think he's bridge guy. I think he just. I mean, look at his eyes. His pupils are so dilated. You know what that means. You just hear. You know, we respect Scott's opinion so much, and his facts and his views and his theories and stuff, and the stuff he says in this one is just like no.
Tips their team is receiving and offer this information to the public as long as the gag order isn't put into place, preventing them from doing so. Carroll County Sheriff Toby Lesenby issued the following statement in response to Mr. Allen's attorney's press release. Said, quote, "I feel a court of law is the proper and impartial setting for this matter to be vetted and not within the domain of the speculation or assumption of a public or social media arena. Patience and time must be afforded to the system, granting all aspects of the case to be brought to life." We'll just have to wait and see. Well, there's a book out there that the lawyers for Mr. Allen are probably going to want to take a look at. They're making a case in the book called Forest for the Trees, and it basically outlines why, that's right, there's an alternate suspect. And what evidence do they have? Well, they give a lot of information as to the location of Ron Logan's property, and they also give some photo comparison for the people to take a look at. Take a look at these photos. One on the left is the mystery man on the bridge. Is that Mr. Allen or is that Ron Logan? I don't know. We're going to check it out. Not convinced one way or the other just yet, but I'm sure the defense is going to be looking into this for Mr. Allen as well.
And I don't think
we'll try
it's
to
Ron
get
Logan
the
either,
author
but
of this
they
particular
definitely
book on to talk about it. And
they definitely make a pretty damn good picture showing how it could be if you're a juror, though.
Accusing Mr. Logan of responsibility for these crimes. So let's hopefully have him on in the coming week or so. Next, let's talk Idaho. A mystery sick person lived at the...
Oh, it's just not good. Okay, break silence. That was... I want to know about this mail. I want to know about this mail and like what that's about. Let's see how they're investigating. Yeah, I want to get into this here real quick just to see what this one's about.
Tonight, 2 people are dead. Low Country investigators say one by homicide, one by suicide. Since August, Beaufort County deputies worked to get answers in the disappearance and death of Brenda Carmen. That is until just days ago when the sole person of interest in this case took his own life. Our investigative team uncovered key details that helped deputies crack the case.
So he took her life and then was getting heat?
She was such a hard worker. She always did her job.
August 9th, 2022. Brenda Carmen, a longtime employee of Publix, didn't show up for her shift.
She was always at work. She even came to work when people would call out. For her not just to come in, it was really strange.
For weeks, people tried to get a hold of her.
When her behaviors and communications with her family members also went unanswered, they said, hey, something's not right. They actually filed a report with us.
For a while, deputies had no answers and no leads. That is, until WJCL 22 News spoke to a friend of Carmen's who gave us key evidence she hadn't given deputies yet.
I can't go with you putting my head on the floor. Can't go with you spitting in my face. Can't do it.
You're hearing voice recordings deputies say Carmen secretly took with her longtime boyfriend, Michael Wilson, back in May.
Why would you do that? Why would you hit me?
I didn't hit you.
You did.
No, I never hit you.
Oh, no, you never took your fist and hit me. No. But you put your knee in my throat.
The friend also
gosh.
paperwork showing Carmen was trying to divide her assets from Wilson, who she lived with at Indigo Run on Hilton Head Island.
That information, coupled with the forensics that we were able to analyze both from their home, in their vehicles, their cell phones, and data collected, we were able to say 100% that he was the last person that was with her.
This is where the search for Carmen came to an end. This is the Victoria Bluff Heritage Preserve. It's a quiet area located just a few minutes out from Hilton Head Island, and after 4 months of searching,
makes you wonder what happened after the recording stopped. Jeez.
We also can confirmatively say that he was the person that placed her in the preserve.
2 days after announcing they found Carmen's remains, deputies say Wilson, the prime suspect in this case, took his own life.
We were working towards a conclusion and an arrest warrant for him, charging him with her murder.
How close were you all, do you think, to making an arrest?
Very close.
Sunday, Allison Gravier left flowers and a note at the site where her missing friend Carmen was finally found, hopeful she will not be forgotten.
Dearest Brenda, you are now with God in heaven where no one can ever take away your freedom. Love, Allison.
The coroner's office has not determined how Carmen died yet. If you or someone you know is the victim of domestic violence, you should call 800-799-7233.
Wow. We'll have to get into of course. Yeah, exactly, Phantom. That's why I'm hoping that those two, that case that you sent me, Arabella, that's why I'm hoping that they don't let them have bond. You know what I'm saying? Because they know they're going to be going to jail for a while doing that. Who doesn't give up evidence? You know what? That's what I'm saying, Bruin. Like, when it's newly released stuff that has not been shared, like, shouldn't that be the first place you go share it with? I couldn't believe that either, Bruin. Crazy. Yeah, so many videos I'm not able to get to, but there is a lot of Delphi stuff I was hoping to try and get into tonight, but we'll actually probably have a pretty big Delphi night tomorrow. I would like to discuss some more of these Jack Showalter and Jack D hoodie guy theories some more a little bit. Maybe start the show with that and then kind of dig a little deeper into the Delphi stuff, since it's been a few days that we really got into that. I have so many videos on Delphi alone that I would like to go over, like this one right here. Maybe this is one you were talking about sending me, Phantom, the crime scene to courtroom, maybe, I think is what it was. This one I'd definitely like to check out, the connection between these three. So I'm going to try and have a decent chunk, maybe like the first hour be on the University of Idaho theories and stuff like that. And then the 2 hours after that, the last 2 hours of the show, get into a bunch of Delphi stuff. Especially with this bullet, you know, like we heard from Scott Reich, you know, the evidence and the doubt that can be created with what was given to us. I feel like we should dig a little bit more into there. I'm gonna check this video. I like this guy. I'm gonna check this video out real quick.
3 weeks and still no arrest in the murder of 4 friends, University of Idaho students who were brutally stabbed to death in their off-campus home. The parents of one of the girls killed have become increasingly outspoken on the case, now saying there is a, quote, conflicting means of death between their daughter and her friend. Joining us now for more is former FBI agent and former Navy SEAL Jonathan Gilliam. Jonathan, welcome back to Wake Up America. So let's start with that. What conflicting means of death mean? Autopsy results are already out. The father of one of those students says the points of damage don't match. What does he mean by this, you think?
Well, to tell you the truth, I don't know what this guy means. I'm going to take a little bit of a turn on this because this individual, Steven Gonzalez, I always butcher his last name.
Goncalves?
He's doing an interview, it seems like every 4 to 8 hours. And many of these different news agencies are putting what he has to say all over the airwaves. And they're not looking at the totality of the things that this guy says. He himself, not law enforcement, he says conflicting things constantly. And he says things that are very odd over and over again. I've worked a lot of different cases. I spoke to a lot of different law enforcement. In fact, one police officer who was a mayor of a town in Springfield and a 20-year police officer reached out to me yesterday and said he's never seen any.
Does he say, has the dad said conflicting statements? I guess I haven't really paid too. I don't think they would be. Every time that I watched an interview, it was a new piece of information, and each time I watched an interview, it almost seemed like he revealed more and more while revealing the new information, which I don't know. But I'm not a ex-FBI or anything, so I don't know. But
in fact,
I didn't feel like he.
Police officer who was a mayor of a town in Springfield and a 20-year police officer reached out to me yesterday and said he's never seen anyone that seemed like they have committed a homicide more than Mr. Gonsalves. Now that's something when we're looking at his statements that he is consistently making to the media, and the media is overlooking the fact that he is saying things. And I have some of the things that he says right here. He says that nobody in the room, that it was fast and nobody suffered. Right?
Yeah,
there's been no report on that. He's also said that he's just going to say it. This is a quote from Kaylee's dad. I'm just going to say it. It was leaked to me. I earned that. I paid for that funeral. I sent my daughter to college. She came back in a box. He went to when they had their service for all the 4 slain, and made jokes and talked about the lighting.
You know they don't want him talking,
Phantom. It's bothering me and many people very much. And if at the very least, he is causing law enforcement more problems, I think, than anything else.
Yeah,
Whoa.
it's definitely confusing. I've heard him on these interviews say those things. Jonathan had read that. You wonder if he's a parent and grieving, if that's what he's going through. But definitely interesting. He also said something.
What do you mean you
that
wonder?
caught my
That's what he
eye,
is
that the
going
killer
through.
chose to go upstairs. So want to remind our viewers of the home. So it's a 3-level home. The main entrance is actually like the basement area, and then you go up.
Thank
the
you for the
second floor, and
follow,
that's where a
DJ.
couple
Hop
of
on over to
bedrooms were.
YouTube.
And then you go to the 3rd floor where there were other bedrooms. So he's saying, this father, that the killer went up that 2nd floor and went through
Good
the
night,
sliding
Kib
glass
Kitty.
door.
Thanks for hanging out.
Have you heard any police reports saying that that was how the killer
Thanks for the
entered
follow
home?
on Twitch. Hop over to
We've
YouTube.
no definitive police reports that say that. Although I do believe that is correct. I think when you look
Evil
at
CJ.
the
Just
two
search Evil
individuals,
CJ.
the two females that were in the 1st floor, and that 1st floor opens up into a common living room type space. I guess there's bedrooms there, and those go upstairs. It's almost like a second apartment.
Yeah.
And the 2nd floor has its own main area, and then there's the 3rd floor. This Mr. Gonzalez, he continues to push out there details about this crime that nobody really knows about. We do know that people were killed on the 2nd and the 3rd floor. I personally have never heard any reports where they were saying that there was different types of attacks and ferocity amongst the different victims. The only person that said that is this same individual. And the way that he talks about how he
must
daughter
not like the
and
dad.
other girl that was with her
Jeez.
were sleeping in the same bed. That information was not released until he said it.
Right. Yeah, so I wonder if the police will come out,
Dang.
Jonathan, and kind of clear up some of these things, because of course, people want answers, right? Kids are back on campus. Winter break's going to start soon. They still don't have a suspect. We talked about the DNA with you. We have about 30 seconds left because there were so many people in that home. When do they get all of the DNA back, and what do you think it could tell them, especially if the suspect's not in the system?
What's going to be a tremendous help on the DNA is when they find DNA that's mixed. There's so many people in that house that there's going to be DNA spread all over the place. It's what DNA is mixed in with the blood on the bed, in and around where the 4 victims were at. Because this, again, I've said this from the very beginning with you on this network, that these were violent attacks. It was most likely
Bruin,
physically fit enough to stand over 4 people and potentially have to
That's some
fight
powerful
those 4
shit
people.
to say on News
But
Nation,
in
you
any
know?
case, as he is stabbing, he's also
Like,
losing
for real.
skin cells, hair, and those types of things can be used for DNA that would be mixed in.
Yeah,
I
a
gotta
lot of people say
listen
he
to
may
this guy
have cut
again
himself
for a
in that
second.
process. All right, Jonathan
Potential.
Gilliam, thank you. Let's start with that. What could conflicting means of death mean? Autopsy results are
I
already
gotta hear
out.
what he
The
says
father
about this
of one
again.
of
Right in the
those,
beginning, he said
students
something about
says
all
the
these
points
conflicting
of
stories or
damage
something.
don't match. What does he mean by this, you think?
Well, to tell you the truth, I don't know what this guy means. I'm going to take a little bit of a turn on this because this individual, Steven Gonzalez, I always butcher his last name. He's doing an interview. It seems like every 4 to 8 hours, and many of these different news agencies are putting what he has to say all over the airwaves, and they're not looking at the
It's not 4 to 8
totality of the things
hours.
that this guy says. He himself, not law enforcement, he says conflicting things constantly. And he says things that are very odd over and over again. I've worked a lot of different cases. I spoke to a lot of different law enforcement. In fact, one police officer who was a mayor of a town in Springfield and a 20-year police officer reached out to me yesterday and said he's never seen anyone that seemed like they have committed a homicide more than
Wow.
Mr. Gonzalez.
That's ridiculous. I mean, yeah, they can't be happy about him. I mean, hell, when we're watching these interviews with him and shit, and he's like, giving us facts and stuff, and every time he does it, you're just like, they can't be happy about this. You know what I mean? But to sit here and frickin' say, like, this... Okay, how many Springfields are in the United States, right? So you kind of narrowed it down, buddy, to like what frickin' town this, what was it, a sheriff or something?
That seem like they have committed a and said he's never seen any town in Springfield and
a mayor,
police officer.
a mayor and a 20-year police officer in Springfield. How many frickin' Springfields are in the United States, you know? I mean, that could have been anybody. But geez,
he's never seen anyone that seemed like they have committed a homicide more than Mr. Gonsalves. Now that's something.
I don't even know if I want to watch these interviews anymore with this dude. What the hell, man? Like, so what if somebody else said that? Why are you even gonna repeat it on fucking national news? Who cares that some 20-year police officer and mayor in Springfield feels that way? Do you? So maybe you should say you feel that way if you're going to say somebody else feels that way. But come on, why would you repeat that? This, holy crap. That's crazy to say some shit like that. He must just not like him very much. That's crazy. All right, there was one video I do need to get to. And I have so many here. Look at that. Just from today, I have probably 20 something. There was something on Michael Vaughn here. Yeah, there's a respiratory one. We'll get to it some point this week. Yeah, this one right here. Michael Vaughn. These guys are all but saying, I know, you know what I mean, Bruin?
Police in Idaho say,
come on, like, say you feel that way. Don't say some freaking mayor and police officer in Springfield or wherever feels that it's interesting that, you know, he's stating all these facts and he hasn't seen anybody more likely than that. Like, come on. Why repeat what he says? You just say that you feel it. Own up to it.
their worst fears are being realized as they piece together what happened to a little boy.
I can't believe
Michael
that.
Vaughn. This little boy, nicknamed Monkey, disappeared in July of 2021. He was playing outside his home in Fruitland, Idaho. Investigators recently excavated a backyard near his family home. It's about a half a mile away from where Michael lived and was last seen. They did that excavation last month. They did not find any human remains on that property, but they say that cadaver sniffing dogs indicated remains
Bruin.
had been buried there at some point. The police chief said, quote, "We strongly believe based on evidence that Michael was abducted."
Maybe, you know what, Bruin? Maybe that's why he was saying that some police officer and mayor in Springfield said that. So that way he wasn't specifically, what's the word? Your character. What's the word? The legal word. Not demeaning. Slander, right? It can't be called slander if you aren't saying you feel that way. If you're saying somebody else, told me that they feel this way, then I don't think you could be sued for slander. Maybe the dude knew that shit before he said what he said. It is irresponsible. I can't believe that the dude said that. Like, why would you say that? Why would you freaking say that? I don't even know if I want to watch any more interviews with that guy after saying some shit like that. I don't know. I don't know.
And is deceased, and that his remains were buried and later moved from that property. Police have arrested Sarah Wandra for failing to report a death. She has
defamation.
Not been found
Thank
mentally
you.
competent for
Thank
this
you,
case
Cherry
to proceed
Cherry.
against her. Joining us now is
I was
Bernardo
thinking
Villalona,
slander.
legal analyst, criminal defense attorney, and former prosecutor. We appreciate you being here this morning. As I
Probably
mentioned,
why you
Michael
said that.
Monkey was last
Springfield,
seen in
USA.
July of last year,
There's
so a
a
lot of
million
time
of
has
them.
gone by. This is the first time police, though, have come out and definitively said, really without any ambiguity, we believe that Michael is deceased and we are looking for his remains. Do they have enough yet for prosecutors to proceed with the case based on the two people they have in custody so far?
It was very disheartening to hear the press conference from Chief Huff. We don't know much about the investigation. As Chief Huff stated, this is an open and active investigation, so they don't want to give much information to the public because they don't want to disturb the integrity of the investigation. But based on what we know now, reading through the lines of what Chief Huff said during the press conference, we know the couple, Sarah and Stacey, are in custody. Sarah's only in custody for failure to report a death of human remains, and that is only a misdemeanor that carries a penalty of up to 1 year. Her husband is in custody, but he hasn't been charged or anything related to the death or the abduction of Michael Vaughn. Based on what I've heard so far, I don't hear enough to charge homicide, even though the body hasn't been recovered. But we do know that there was at least probable cause for a search warrant to be executed at that home. So I'm curious to read what was the probable cause to execute that search warrant at that home.
Right. And I found it really interesting that police went so far in that recent press conference after excavating the yard to put photos of two other people that they want to question in connection with Michael's disappearance. One is Brandon Shurtleff. He's 30 years old, from Idaho, currently believed Coda. The other one is Adrian Lucene. He's 32. They believe he may be in Toledo, Ohio. Both of them were either living or had been at the home around the time that they believe Michael disappeared. How significant was that when you saw police right at the beginning put out their faces, their names, and not call them suspects, but say, we do want to talk to you?
So it is out of the ordinary for law enforcement to state the names and also show photographs of individuals that they're looking to question, looking for information, but not saying that they're suspects or had anything to do with the abduction or the death of Michael Vaughn. Because as you can see towards the end of that press conference, the law enforcement chief Huff was saying that we hope that you do contact law enforcement so we can be able to talk to you, because they do have information to believe that they were inside of the house at some point during the time period of Michael Vaughn's disappearance, but they're not saying that they had any involvement in the abduction or the death of Michael Vaughn. So it's a little bit out of the ordinary, because usually you wouldn't put out the names and photographs of eyewitnesses or witnesses to the public because it can cause harm to them. But I think the reason they did it is to put pressure on them to come forward. But at this point, if they were to come forward, I would suggest that they get an attorney to represent them when they go to talk to police, because at this point, look, you put my name out there. I don't know if you're looking at me as a suspect. You're not saying you're looking at me as a suspect, but that could be, so I don't lawyer up.
So the next step in this, it sounds as though police are going to continue the search now of a neighbor's yard. The neighbors are cooperating with ground penetrating radar. I found it unique that they came out and said that we believe he's deceased without finding his remains yet. What does that tell you? That they may be close to finding him based on what they found or didn't find so far in that backyard?
So in terms of the neighbor's backyard, we know that the neighbor is not requiring a warrant from law enforcement to search the neighbor's backyard. So that is significant in the sense of, look, law enforcement did not have to go in front of a judge and say, look, I think there's probable cause to search the neighbor's backyard, because we know the neighbors, at least by the press conference, are not involved because there was no statement in that regard. However, in regards to the search of the Wandren's home, we know that there was a search warrant. So those cadaver dogs did hit positive for human remains having been in that backyard. But what's interesting about that is that the dogs, they hit positive, meaning there's a positive smell, that at some point there were human remains there, but it doesn't tell you who those human remains belong to.
Well, it is a chilling and tragic case, and I do want to point out that the community has applauded law enforcement's efforts in Fruitland because they have not given up. In fact, when you go to the main website for the Fruitland Police Department, Michael Vaughn's case is at the very top of that page. He vanished in July of last year. So they say they are relentless in their search for justice and for answers for this little boy. That indicates to me that we will be hearing much more from police as they continue this search in the days and weeks to come. Bernarda, thank you for your time this morning and a closer look at this case. We sure appreciate it.
Man, I thought that yard, they would have found something there, but I suppose not. All right, there's a new video that just came out, and I'm gonna go ahead and play this one about the dog, and then we'll go ahead and end the show. And like I said, we'll do like the first hour tomorrow night, University of Idaho stuff and whatever breaks, and then probably the last 2 hours get into some Delphi stuff, maybe split it up hour and a half, something like that. But I definitely want to get into the more of this hoodie guy and this Jack Showalter dude and kind of see more about that. You guys had some interesting theories about that.
So really trying to identify why any of the four would have potentially have been targets. Joining me now from Moscow, Idaho, News Nation senior national correspondent Brian Entin. Brian, good to see you. You also have some reporting on what is a very important detail about Kaylee's injuries as they compared to her best friend's who was in the same bed with her. Tell us about it.
Yeah, Dan, we've learned that Kaylee's injuries were significantly more brutal. That is the way it was described to me than her best friend Maddie's injuries. They were together in Maddie's room up on the 3rd floor of the house behind me. Why is this important? Well, it could possibly be important in the sense of who was targeted in this event. Was Kaylee the target? Is that why her injuries were more brutal? Was she possibly trying to protect her best friend? Obviously, those are things that police are looking into behind the scenes.
All right, so tell us more. You know anything else about this stalker situation? This is something a lot of people were talking about. Again, trying to figure out who may have been the target.
Jeez, what's up with this audio?
Or if there was someone. Anything else we know about it?
So there was a little bit of a miscommunication. Initially last week, it was reported that Kaylee's family said there was a stalker. I sat down with them Friday night, and they were very clear. They do not know of a specific stalker. Kaylee never told them of a specific stalker. They said that, is it possible someone was following her around? Yes, it's possible, but they didn't know of anything specific.
Anything else from what we learned today that you think we need to know?
Yeah,
I thought we were going to talk about the dog.
A lot of people have been interested in this Golden Doodle Murphy. Is it possible that he was in the room, that he had evidence on him because he immediately went to the Humane Society? People were concerned that he might not have been tested. Now we learned today that he was not in the part of the house where the crimes were committed, according to the police.
All right, Brian, as always, thank you. Let's bring in News Nation's Ashley Banfield, who's also
what does that mean? The dog was in the bathroom?
The entire hour on it on her show tonight.
The other
Ashley,
bedroom?
once again, thank you for coming on. Appreciate it. All right, with this information that Brian has learned about Kaylee's injuries being more severe,
I don't know if it's my phone or if it's the audio from the stream.
Was lying in the same bed with her. What do you make of it?
I find it really fascinating that Kaylee's injuries are worse than Maddie's, which might make some maybe think that she had been the target. But she was found in Maddie's room. So if the killer was coming in to get Kaylee, he did this in Maddie's room. And you've seen the pictures of these girls, Dan. They are beautiful, blonde. They look very similar in the daylight. Now turn out the lights and, put them in a bed. And it would be very, very difficult to tell them apart just from a practical matter. So it just complicates this story, I think, from a profiling, perspective. And it also complicates why 2 other people would need to die. It's just
right.
I can't believe the dude in the last video. That was crazy.
I want to play you a piece of sound from Christine Gonzalez, Kaylee's mom, on the suspects. Then I want your thoughts on this.
I just feel like there's been a couple individuals that were cleared very
first
fast.
Floor.
That may not. Maybe he shouldn't have been. And yeah,
She had the strong alibi.
just really fast.
Oh, you think the dog?
An hour later, and we're like, what?
So you think the dog was with the two girls in the very first floor? They did come home at 1. So you think maybe they brought the dog down there with them and then locked the door or something?
That was in the interview with
That's
Brian.
a good.
You know, the mom
That's a good view too.
frustrated by the police clearing people very quickly. What do you make of it?
Well, I mean, within the first week, there were so many people being cleared, all while we were waiting for maybe a person of interest that never came. But every person that had been raised in this story was cleared lightning fast. And one of them was a very suspicious character that was spotted on camera at the food truck. And the reason he was suspicious is because he was lingering. He wasn't there to buy food, didn't appear that he bought any. He stood behind the girls while they were paying and ordering. And then he even moved
Need to watch
10
that
to
hoodie
15
video
feet
again.
when they
The hoodie
shuffled
guy
10
video.
to 15 feet and waited 10 more minutes to get their food, all the while watching them, but not doing anything else. And then
We'll
as
watch that
soon as
tomorrow,
those girls
too.
turned to leave, he was right on their tail leaving as well. So, you know, that raised a lot of suspicion.
He wasn't on their
Dan,
tail.
and to
He
have
went the
him cleared
opposite
so
direction.
quickly, Kaylee's father is very upset because he's hearing that that person did not give DNA and also maybe out of the country by this point.
What?
So these are things that I
What?
as a
They didn't
family,
give
we would be
DNA?
very upset by, certainly in the absence of any other solid information coming their way.
Thank you for watching. Go to News Nation.
Wow. He didn't give DNA either. Holy crap, I didn't know that. So they're shit out of luck for that guy then, because holy crap. Wow. I hear you. Thank you. I appreciate you, Bruin. I know I got to be up at 4:30 myself. I know what you mean. But wow, thanks for hopping in and your views in here, Bruin. I always appreciate it. I didn't hear that today, Phantom. That's crazy. Yeah, I definitely want to get into your guys' theories tomorrow. If you'll be hanging out tomorrow in the first part of the show, I definitely want to get your guys' theories on your hoodie guy and your Jack Showalter. I'm gonna try and once I get home, hopefully I can have some time to get that hoodie guy video with the food truck or whatever. Definitely watch that again. Man, that's crazy. No DNA. Well, if you guys are still going to be up and you're still wanting to watch some true crime stuff and there's nothing to watch, Justice Served Daily went live a little bit ago. So you can go ahead and hop over there and tell her, hey, what's up? I probably won't be able to get on there tonight. I got to get stuff ready for work, and then I got to hit the hay. But dang, we'll definitely go into that, and we got to get into Delphi tomorrow. I got so many videos from the last 3 or 4 days that I wasn't even able to get to, and they're good ones too. So we'll get into Delphi tomorrow too. But I want to thank everybody for hanging out. Yeah, go hang out with JSD. I wish I could. Tell her I said hi. Maybe I'll just hop in and say hi real quick. I wish I could hang out, but I can't. I'll have to watch it tomorrow while I'm at work. Well, not watch it, but listen. Support the creators in the daytime at work, whether it's watching replays or being in lives and stuff. But we'll be back tomorrow night, same time. Yeah, nighty night. Oh, just go to replay, Silky. And I can't wait to check your video out too tomorrow. I got you and Justice again tomorrow. Plus, maybe, I don't know if ATS is going to be streaming, but usually Alex is, or CDT or somebody. So I'll definitely be doing that. And by the way, just for a little bit of a different mix, because when I'm not listening and I need time to go by super quick because it's going super slow, I just throw on my Spotify playlist and I just start jamming. So if you want to... Oh, that's the Facebook group. Whoops, 1 second. One more link down. There's the Spotify link. All right. I'm going to hop in Justice's stream real quick, tell her hey. Then I'll be able to check it out tomorrow. And then I'll be back tomorrow at 6:50 to 7. We'll be getting into this. I definitely some different theories I didn't even think about, and I'm not even thinking about the I don't know. I don't know if I'm thinking serial killer anymore. You guys are kind of giving some good views on what you think, and I'm kind of damn the way that dad looked at the boyfriend there at the vigil. That was crazy. Thank you for that link too, Phantom. Appreciate it. Thank you everybody for your help, your appreciation, your dedication, your help, brain stew, all that good stuff. Sorry I couldn't get to everything tonight. I try every night. That's why I say I always feel like I end the show early, but one day we'll have a long show. Be like a 9 to 5 or something. But I hope everybody has a peaceful and positive evening and stay warm.